Hello and welcome to the National Stadium in Tokyo. A pleasure to have you with us as the track and field program continues on a warm and humid evening in the Japanese capital. Conditions today for the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics have been almost oppressive, and yet the athletes have responded with some stunning performances both on the track and in the field competitions. We have another 4 straight finals with the field events and another 4 on the track, plus heats for events from 100 up to 5,000 metres. And it's been a case so far of no crowds, no problem for our Paralympic athletes who've really found this stadium to their liking. Some 5 world records in the first session. This place just turns it on.
It does indeed, and it's been a thrilling opening session. You sort of wonder after watching what's gone on how on earth that is going to be matched, but I'm sure the athletes who are coming out in this evening session and those over the coming days will do just that. You mentioned about those 4 track finals and 4 in the field. The 4 in the track promise to be absolutely sensational. It's really hard to pick what's going to be one of those best finals. You've got the women's 200 meters T37. You've got Manny Francois Ali, who broke the Paralympic record in the heat, and then Wen Xiaoyan, who then broke it in her heat shortly afterwards, who's the reigning Paralympic champion. That's just to start things off. And then you've got the men's 100 meters T37. Nick Mayhew, who broke the world record, who only started running 2 years ago after switching from football 7 aside. And then you move on to the men's 100 meters T47, Paralympic champion Ferreira dos Santos. He's also the world champion, and he holds both the Paralympic and the world records. And you just work your way through, and then I suppose if you want to look at it from a semi-final point of view, you've got the men's T54, 5,000 metres semi-finals. There is so much to look forward to. The men's long jump T11 final, which will almost get proceedings underway around the same time as the men's shot put F55 final. That's always something to look forward to. And I tell you, if you want to see something decent, those men's 5,000 metres T54, unfortunately we didn't get a chance to see the women's. That schedule's been pushed back, but that is something to behold, the speed and the agility they move with.
It's going to be great to see the likes of some of the legends of the sport, David Weir and Marcel Hug and Daniel Romanchuk, just racing around this track, which has proved to be so fast. On foot, in a chair. The records just keep tumbling. Possibly brother and sister getting gold on the same day for Brazil. That's something to keep our attention on in the men's long jump T11 final. But 30 degrees and 64% humidity. Doesn't feel like it's backed off much, even though we're coming up towards 7 p.m. local time, and there is 0 breeze, and that's why it's so warm. There's nothing to cool us off. It's been quite one of the hottest days of the last 6 weeks of sporting celebration. We expect it. The athletes manage it fine. It's certainly warm conditions. So we've got 3 field events that are going to start almost simultaneously. Men's shot put F55, men's long jump T11, and the women's club throw F32 classes, and we can explain those to you again as we move through. The athletes have had a bit of a warm-up over at the long jump pit. Our athletes for shot put gathered around their area.
It's a wonderful stadium though, isn't it? This Olympic Stadium here in Tokyo, and the athletes, the heat has not been bothered them. The times have been fast, the jumps have been long, the throws have been long. It's been something to behold, and the heat, I guess you're training for the heat, you realise it's going to be hot, but it's still, when you do go out in it, you don't realise until you're actually out there. But it's the same for everyone, if that's the one thing you can take out of it.
Well, what we've seen in the results so far is that Brazil and Colombia have done exceptionally well. You think of countries that have pretty warm summers, and Central and South American countries certainly there. And here's the schedule once more. There's 3 field events starting one after the other. And then a great program on the track as well. Have some medal presentations to bring you a little bit later.
One of those we will pick out there with the American flags is Raymond Martin, who's got 6 Paralympic golds since 2012 in the men's 400 metres T52. He's going up against Sato Tomoki of Japan, who's the world record holder. So that's going to be a real head-to-head tussle, that one. The semi-finals of that were keenly contested.
No rain is in the forecast for at least a few days. In fact, tomorrow they're forecasting might be even hotter than today.
Well, that gives you an example of the lack of breeze when you're looking at the Paralympic flag, the Agitos, and the flag of Japan. There is absolutely minimal breeze here in this stadium, as it has been throughout the entire day.
Men's shot put is due to be the first field event to get underway. 8 competitors expected to start. We've got the reigning Paralympic and world record holder in Rusdi in the field, in the F55 category at least. And there is one F54 athlete in the event, Sergei Sokolsky. But Rusdi, the Bulgarian, is the man to beat. The record of 12 meters 47. Stoltman on a good day can get near him.
And if you're wondering about that 12.99 you saw at the top there, and you're wondering why isn't that the world record, that would have been at a para-athletics meet that wasn't ratified. So the mark may well be his PB for the man at the top there.
Yes.
From Azerbaijan, Musiev, but it wouldn't have been ratified, hence the fact that it's not a world record.
Musayev lives in Baku in Azerbaijan, born in Russian Federation. Won the shot put in Beijing, 13:49, 9th in London. Wallace Santos, 37-year-old from Rio. Stoltman there, okay. Just going backwards through the order. Stoltman, a Polish competitor, with a PB of 12.22. Now Sokolsky. Sokolsky, 35 years of age now, and Djuric, Serbia, was 5th in Rio and 7th in the discus. Zvered Panzic, Bosnia-Herzegovina, veteran in the field. He's 52 years young, lives in Sarajevo. Tekchand, 3rd in the shot put at the 2018 Asian Games. There's Wallace Santos. More of the same. He was 10th in Rio with a 9.19 throw, and Olakan Musayev, I'm just interested to read that Lex Stoltman of Poland gets himself involved in wheelchair bodybuilding. Now that's not a sport or an activity that I've seen. But it doesn't hurt his strength. So Musayev, he's almost lathered in perspiration just just sitting there. Such is the humidity and the general heat. USA will be hoping for a good competition. Now, T11 long jump. Six in the field. Lex Gillette owns the world record. He's a perennial silver medalist at Paralympics, though, so he'd really like to do something about that. Second 4 times. Another interesting man in the field is Ricardo Costa de Oliveira, as his sister, in a dramatic women's equivalent event in the T11, claimed the gold for a second time, and Ricardo's lining up to try to do the same. Get some good competition, though.
Well, there may only be 6 that are going in that event, but it's certainly going to be a hard-fought victory for whoever gets it.
Looks like we're going to get the individual introductions for this event. We get sometimes, but not always. So Lex Gillette, 36 years of age, originally from North Carolina and these days California. It's his 5th Paralympic Games. As I mentioned, second in 04, 08, 12 and 16.
Representing France.
Ronan Pallier.
Ronan Pallier.
5th in Athens, 6th in Beijing,
Paralympic champion,
4th at the 19 Worlds.
Ricardo Costa de Oliveira.
Costa de Oliveira putting on a bit of a show before it even starts, and won Rio with a leap of 6 meters 52, 3rd at the 17 Worlds.
Dong Dong D.
Now Dong Dong, 27 from Liaoyang, won the Asian Para Games in 2018 in Indonesia.
4th at the Rio Paralympics, representing Chinese Taipei.
Yang Chuan Hui, 30 years of age, was 4th in Rio. Going back to the 13 Worlds, he was 2nd.
And jumping at 6th. 6th in the Rio Paralympics, representing
Javier
Spain.
Porras from Barcelona in Spain. 4th in Beijing, 5th in London. 2nd at the World Championships in Christchurch 10 years ago. So as you say, it's a good field.
Keep nice and quiet.
Indeed it is, and there'll need to be
complete
complete silence for these T11 athletes as they're guided in to the pit. Lex Gillette back in 2015, I saw him in Doha. I was there in person and saw him actually miss the pit altogether, slide along on his backside and take a big rip out of the side of his trousers. He was fine, there was no problem, but it is a very, very tough sport, the T11's complete visual impairment.
It's done with equal measurements of skill and courage, and a good smattering of trust. But he must feel that this is his moment. 4 times runner-up. He must want it so badly, but he can only focus on the process and see what happens. If Costa de Oliveira or someone else is too good for him, so be it. He's a multiple world champion. There's a Paralympic gold that is just eluding him.
Ronan Pallier of France has had a very good season. 50 years of age. You wouldn't know it to look at him. He picked up the European gold medal in Bydgoszcz. Jumped 6 meters exactly on that occasion. And Lex Gillette will be first to go, the American, and he'll be hoping to put a solid mark on the board straight away. You can see that windsock just in the foreground there that is really not blowing it much at all. So there'll be no hindrance, no help. Been very steady all day in regards to the wind and how it's been blowing.
So there'll be relative quiet around the scene as the guide sends the instruction. Guides him down the runway. Lex Gillette, men's T11. Oh, that might have been a foul. Yes, he's just outside the... It's a bigger pit, as you will have noticed, perhaps seen before. And he just overstretched with his last stride.
Yeah, just to give a bit of background on that jump where these T11 athletes, you can see there the chalked out square area is much larger than the normal jump you see. And anywhere they jump from on the area, of course, unless they go over the plasticine, anywhere from on the area, that's where the mark will be taken from in this T11 category.
That's all right. He's got another couple of attempts to make sure he gets through. Well, 6 in the final. They'll all go through. Roman Pallier is due next to go. Looked a nice jump from Gillette, just the takeoff not in the required area. Pallier is getting reset. It's on his way. And again a foul. So both the opening attempts, well, they've been waiting all day for this moment, and just the adrenaline rush can just throw out your well-established run-up. Practice it hundreds and hundreds of times, but then these little variables, like the fact that it's the Paralympics.
Just that small thing there then. But I wonder sometimes there's absolutely, it's still as can be. There's no wind whatsoever. It's very hot and humid conditions, and sometimes those small things can make large differences.
Well, Ricardo Costa de Oliveira has a PB of 6:56. He won with 6:52 in Rio. He looks ready. Can he be the first to post a legal jump? He looks pumped. Let's hope he can contain that adrenaline. There's a pause in proceedings here. Not quite sure why he's been asked to wait. Just about due for start on the track. Wants to go. Perhaps doesn't want to while the PA is announcing some other things. Best finish at the World Championships, a 3rd in 2017. Okay, we're set. That looks good, just short of 6 metres there on the raw look, but of course it's where he takes off from in that larger pit. And just establishing that was all okay as well. Yep, fair. So we'll get a measurement.
He did go very close to the corner of the box there. I actually thought at first that he'd gone out of the area, but he has been given the white flag. So that'll be the first legal jump, so he'll definitely be into the lead.
Oh, that's interesting. He must have just caught enough of it. Certainly on his way down to the takeoff area, there were some changes of direction discussed between himself and the guide. He was having trouble lining it up. Fortunately, a safe jump, and 5.89. It's not a bad start. He's got more in him, though.
It's been a good day for Brazil. Might get even better in the evening session.
People quite happy to socially distance. You just give yourself some room and air around you. It's so close here. But here we go with the women's 200.
Women's 200 metres T37. Wen Jiayan of China, who holds the world and Paralympic record. The Paralympic record she set in the morning session in qualification for the final. Eight to take place in this. Jalen Roberts of the USA, who was bronze back in 2017. Jumping Jalen, her family nicknamed her.
In lane 3, the 2021 European bronze medalist, an RPC athlete.
Victoria Slanova, who took bronze in the 2021 recent European Championships.
In a hurry. In lane 8, the London 2017 world champion.
Natalia Kobza of Ukraine, the former world champion at London in 2017. She took silver in Bydgoszcz back in June in the European Championships.
Jumping at 4, the Asian
there she is, Wen Jiayan, the reigning champion, also the record holder in the world and Paralympic record. She won gold in the long jump in 2016 as well.
The Asian para champion for the People's Republic.
Second of the Chinese to take part, Yang Fen, who took bronze in the Worlds in 2019. She was gold medalist in the Asian Para Games in 2018.
In lane 5, the Rio
Mandy Francois Ali, she broke the Paralympic record in the opening heat in the morning session, and Wen just went and broke it again.
Mandy Francois Ali.
Gold in 2018 and 2020 medals.
South Africa.
Cheryl James of South Africa, bronze in the 400 metres in 2019, 35 years of age.
That's your lineup for the women's 200 metres.
So 8 to go in the women's 200 metres T37 coordination impairment category. Keep your eyes on lanes 4 and 5 especially. Wen of China, Mandy Francois Ali of France. But this is an exceptionally open field. Sukhanova won't start, so lane 2 will be absent. There is Kobza, who won the World Championship gold in London back in 2017. She's quite the athlete, all-rounder. She took silver just recently in those European Championships. Just missed out on the gold medal. But what an exciting morning session it was. The Paralympic record being broken not once, but twice. Roberts in 9. Kobzar will go in lane 8. Jiang will go in lane 7 for China. Cheryl James of South Africa in 6. Francois Ali will go in lane 5 for France, next to Wen, the reigning champion from China, and Slanova of the Russian Paralympic Committee will go in lane 3. A packed field.
On your mark.
Will it deliver us something special?
Set.
Away with no problems at all, and Francois Ali and Wang got away quick, but fastest on the outside there was the second of the Chinese athletes, Yang Fen, who's really working hard around that bend into the last 100, but she's been overtaken now by Wen, who's in lane 4, and trying to get up there is Francois Ali, who's just starting to tighten up somewhat. It's Wen who's now 5 metres out in front. Wen, let's have a look at the time as she goes across the line. She's going to win it, and it's Francois Ali in second, a new world record of 26.59 seconds into a slight headwind as well for the Chinese, who's retained that Paralympic gold medal she won in Rio 5 years ago.
That's half a second. She's trimmed almost off her world record from Dubai, and she wasn't even that quickly away from the start, but ran a beautiful bend, and she was so nicely positioned in lane 4 to see what was happening outside her, and then into the straight and away.
26.58, the ratified time for a new world record. It's a China 1-2 as well with Yang Fen, a lifetime best for her of 27.33, and it's France through Mandy Francois Ali who picks up the bronze medal, 27.34 seconds for her, so just 1/100th of a second between silver and bronze.
Yes, Jiang on the outside in lane 7 made a good start, somewhat unexpectedly, but in perfectly positioned lane of 4, when just ran down Francois Ali and then scooted away here. Francois Ali found a little bit of a second wind, but not enough. And this is a world record time. And Jiang just caught Francois Ali to sneak the second there.
The corner that Wen ran was absolutely brilliant. And you saw Francois Ali just tightening up slightly coming into the last 50 or 60 metres. That's what can happen in the coordination impairment category. They can tighten up somewhat as lactic acid starts to build up in the body, and that's what happened. So it became a China 1-2, and China atop the medal table again. They've been atop the medal table every Paralympic Games since 2004 in Athens, and they've been building each and every Games. Francois Ali in the middle. Doesn't exactly look thrilled to be there at the moment, but she's picked up a bronze medal at the Paralympic Games in Tokyo. Let's see 2 Paralympic records we've seen in the early session, added to a world record from Wen with this wonderful running style as she just holds her line as she gets towards that finishing line there. Just look at how relaxed her cheeks are, just bouncing up and down there. She hasn't tightened up at all. She just looks very strong. She might have grimaced somewhat as she went across the line, but it doesn't matter at that stage because Wen Jiaoyan is again the Paralympic champion with a new world record, 26.58 seconds.
Just held her form so well, quite a relaxed running style. And 26.58 is her reward, along with a gold medal a little later. So we're back at a long jump. And speaking of China, Di Dong Dong. Well, that looks good. And assisted out of the pit after a fair jump. Nice lift. As this guy dives out of the way. And 6 meters 35 is a season best for Dong Dong. And at the moment, young Chuan Hui, Chinese Taipei, is sitting second, and Costa de Oliveira third. It's just a little earlier from Yang. .30-year-old from Chinese Taipei, 6.12 meters. He leapt for 4th place in Rio. Did a little better a few years back at the 2013 Worlds with 6 meters 30. As he tumbles towards the end of the pit, no problems there. Nice effort from Yang. Yang came in with a season best of 660. The introductions now for the men's 100 T37. There could be a bit of showmanship here.
It may well be. Second track event of the evening session. Charles du Toit, the reigning champion from South Africa, over this distance and also over 400 metres in 2016. Ricardo Gomes de Mendonça, his first major championship for the Brazilian.
Joining lane 3, the Asian bronze medalist for Saudi Arabia.
Ali Aknekli of Saudi Arabia, 5th in 2019 at the World Championships, bronze at the 2018 Asian Paralympic Games.
4th in the World Championships from Brazil.
Christian Gabriel Luis da Costa, who was 4th back in 2019, just 19 years of age, 17 when he picked up that 4th place in the Dubai World Championships. German Kobosov, the reigning European champion, took bronze in the Worlds back in 2015 and silver in 2019, so he'll be there or thereabouts. So will this man, Sabatyoga Pernomo, who broke the Paralympic record in the heat. The first of those heats in the morning session. Andre Verdovin, gold in the Worlds in 2013, 15 and 19.
And finally, the world record holder on his major championship debut
and
for the
Nick
USA.
Mayhew already held the world record before this morning, but he now holds the Paralympic record to go with it. The first T37 athlete to go under 11 seconds, 10:97 for Nick Mayhew, the world and Paralympic record holder, will go from lane 6. This is a stacked field. There is absolutely no doubt whatsoever about this one. European champions, world champions, Paralympic champions, and that man there, Mayhew, who's just come to the party a couple of years back and is straight into it with a world and Paralympic record before he's even got to the final. Andre Verdovin is the reigning European world champion. So we have Charles Dutoy, who's the defending Paralympic champion, Verdovin, the European world champion, and the world record holder on left of screen just there of the USA. So it'll be Dutoy in 2, Al-Nakhli in 3, Kobasov in 4, Verdovin in 5, Mayhew in 6, Pernomo in 7, Luis da Costa in 8, and Gomez de Mendonca in lane 9. Oh, and it's a wonderful jump by all the athletes, but especially Nick Mayhew in the middle there. You can see him streaming away, the American down the middle there in lane 6. What's the time going to be? It's going to be quick, isn't it? It is going to be quick. He's beaten his own world record, a new world record of 10.95 seconds. He's taken 2/100th of a second off the time he set earlier in the morning. What an athlete, what a run.
He's just so interesting to watch because between about 40 metres and 60 metres, when you think they've hit top speed, he seems to find yet another gear, something akin to overdrive, and just starts to ease away even further. What a sprinter.
Well, Verdovin has picked up the silver medal. He set a new European record of 11.18. And Pernomo has picked up the bronze, and you can see his delight. A new Asian record of 11.31. But Nick Mayhew came to the sport from football 7-a-side just 2 years ago when he took up athletics. He's coached by his brother Thomas. He asked the coach of the athletics team what he thought. He told him it's going to need a bit of commitment. He said, I can do that. And he's shown it. Oh. What a wonderful run around that middle 20 or 30 metres there. Verdovin did his best to stick with him. So did Kobasov. Pernomo just picked up Kobasov on the line to make it a Indonesian bronze medal. But Mayhew
just keeps easing away. That's the staggering thing about his pace. It's almost as if he gets quicker through 70, 80 and 90. He's looking at the clock and goes, yes, there's that world record again out of Charlotte, North Carolina. That's pace.
Well, he came into the arena like that earlier when he came in for his heat. He's full of gusto, full of bravado, but to tell you what, he can back it up. He has shown that in his 2 races here at the Tokyo Olympic Stadium on day 1 of this athletics meet. It's day 3 of the Paralympic Games, and a new star is born. Nick Mayhew, just look at that style. So much ability, raw talent as well. He's got plenty left in the tank. He set that world record 2 months ago, by the way. He's broken it by 2/100th of a second, and I can tell you what, he can break it by more because he spent most of his time there in that last 20 metres having a look across at the clock.
So 7-a-side football's loss is sprinting's gain with this man.
Well, he reminds me of a man called Michael Brannigan who runs the 1500 T20. He came onto the scene back in 2015 ahead of Rio. This man here is onto the scene now. Nick Mayhew, world record. Andre Verdovin of the Russian Paralympic Committee with a silver. And it is Septioga Pernomo of Indonesia who takes bronze.
Very exciting race. And just 100th of a second separating 3rd and 4th. Go back to Lex Gillette. Needs a good jump. That's better. That's a legal one in the centre of the pit. Give the coach and guide a little less anxiety. .635 leading at the moment, so a 6:17. And Lex Gillette is back in the competition. So, shot put. 55, and Wallace Santos. That's out there. Santos, a world record of 12:47 held by Rusdi. And it's gone. Well done. Wallace Santos with a 12:63 has wrecked that long-standing record of Rusdi, established in 2017. Well, what a meet the Brazilians are having.
If they can continue this through for the next 9 or 10 days, then they'll be most happy indeed.
However, that event is in its early stages. Still got 6 athletes to throw.
Well, we just saw an absolute cracker in the men's T37 final. It's now time for the T47. This for the athletes with the upper limbs which are affected by a limb deficiency or impaired muscle power or passive range of movement.
Fourth at the 2017 World Championships for the USA.
Galadima of Nigeria out first, and then Tanner Wright, the 24-year-old Texan, on his Paralympic Games debut.
Next in
Home favourite Ishida Kakeru, who made his debut back in 2019. He'll go from lane 3. Lucas de Souza Lima of Brazil.
Lucas de Souza. In lane 4, the world record holder, world and Paralympic champion from Brazil.
Here he comes, Patricio Ferreira dos Santos, the reigning Paralympic champion. Holds the world record from
the European champion for
Dubai back in 2019. Holds the Paralympic record as well. Mikel de Roos, who won silver in 2016. Just short of the Brazilian Ferreira dos Santos. Wang Hao of China, he just missed out on the medal. 4th place in 2016. He did win the gold in long jump though at the 2017 and 2019 Worlds. Washington Jr. Silver medalist at the last World Championships in Dubai.
That is your lineup for the men's 100 meters.
So we have 3 starters from Brazil going in this one. Certainly been a brilliant day for them so far. Can the man Patricio Ferreira dos Santos make it back-to-back Paralympic Games? He won silver in the 400 metres at the Paralympic Games to add to that gold in the 100 metres. Yet again, loads of class and medal talent going in this one, led by that man there. de Roos will be looking to improve on that 5 years ago when he was narrowly edged out by the Brazilian. Tanner Wright, a new experience for him. Going from lane 9, inside him, de Souza Lima, de Roos in 7, Junior in 6, Wang in 5, Ferreira dos Santos will go in 4, Ishida in 3, Galadima in 2, Nigeria. Away with no issues at all, and de Roos got away reasonably quick, but on the onside of him, Washington Jr. is looking very fast, but here comes Patricio dos Santos. It is dos Santos who gets it, and Patricio Ferreira dos Santos does it back-to-back. A wonderful time and a new Paralympic record of 10.53 seconds. So he takes 4/100ths of a second of his own mark that he set when winning gold 5 years ago. De Roos has picked up yet another silver, coming in just behind, and it's a Brazil 1-3 with Washington Jr. taking the bronze medal in a time of 10.68 seconds. But that man there, he maybe got away a bit slower than he wanted to, but he certainly powered home to take the victory. Saying hello to the family back home. Tarus has taken the Polish flag. He's happy with back-to-back silver medals at 2 Paralympic Games.
Certainly ran a better final than he did his semi, and congratulations offered around the place. Tarus, that was a strong race from him. 10.61, 10.68 for Washington Junior and 10.53 for Petruccio.
Well, Dos Santos is the back-to-back Paralympic champion. An interesting story, he was noticed playing futsal for his school team. He signed up to compete at his school event and he won despite having never trained and using borrowed shoes. And there was always going to be talent there, wasn't there?
Well, he was third at that point, and then he's just motored away. Probably the best start came from Galadima in 2, but he was passed by most of the field. Petruccio, yeah.
Wang in 4th place, probably could have done with another 10 metres because he maybe might have caught the Brazilian and picked up a bronze medal, but no one was going to catch that man. Absolutely no one. Quite a stunning middle 30 or 40 metres.
They know where the clock is, don't they? It's that their eyes go straight there as soon as they chest the line. Well, all right, they had something worked out clearly. I'm not sure about the hat, Patricia, where that's come from, but it's a statement of sorts.
Well, there is the start. You can see that it's Washington Junior who gets away quickest of all. That period there, that is where Petruccio manages to just reel them in and head past his compatriot, head past Mikhail Tarus. He has a look across. Tarus, I think, at one point there thought he had it. He thought he had it. He looked across. He saw that man there, Ferreira dos Santos, coming out the corner of his eye, and he realised at that point the game was up. 10.53, a new Paralympic record. Another record has been smashed here at Tokyo 2020. He smashed his own record, though.
Tarus, once he caught Washington Junior, I think he thought he had it. That's not to say for a second that he relaxed at all, but couldn't do much about the finish of Petruccio, who just swamped them with about 5 metres to go.
What a wonderful result for Brazil. They pick up gold and bronze through Patricio Ferreira dos Santos and Washington Junior, and Mikhail Tarus sandwiched in between with a new lifetime best of 10.61, picks up the silver.
Locals with accreditation coming in to enjoy the first evening session.
Round 3 of the long jump about to get underway. The Lex Gillette world champion, first on the runway for the USA.
The first of the women's 400 metres T11 semi-finals.
Jumping last and 6th place athlete jumping first.
Luku Quing, the world and Paralympic record holder. She'll go in the second heat. There's the reigning world champion, Planeta Vitória Simplicio da Silva of Brazil. Hey, have I mentioned Brazil so far?
I'm just thinking what a day they're having, along with China, Colombia.
Well, no medals up for grabs in the 400 metres T11 this evening. This just to qualify for the final. Simplicio da Silva, she missed out on the medal at the Paralympics in 2016. She came in 4th position. She rectified that 3 years later in Dubai, the World Para-Athletics Championships, with that gold added to a bronze from 2015, the year before those rare Paralympics. So she'll be doing her utmost to go through. It's the first in each of these two heats that go through to the final, and the next two fastest advance to the final after that. It's the complete visual impairment category, so a guide is mandatory. You may notice under the eye bands there that you can almost see patches which are underneath, so the athletes have to wear patches across their eyes as well as those masks, just to make sure that there is absolutely no chance of seeing anything. But it is complete visual impairment, and again the guides are so vitally important in this category. Last few words of advice and good luck there from Felipe Veloso da Silva, the guide of Simplicio da Silva.
He's got a bit of a fashion statement going there with the eye band, but and I guess fairly obviously to most enjoying this coverage that in events where guides are compulsory, there's only 4 in the field to allow plenty of room for the 4 competitors and 4 guides. Spotted some New Zealand fans there.
Perez Lopez of Venezuela. She won silver in the 2019 Pan American Games. Ishitili has already gone in the long jump earlier today, finishing 7th in that. Commonwealth Games bronze over 100 metres 3 years ago on the Gold Coast in Australia. So Ishitili will go from out in lane 7. 400 metres, a rather brutal running event at the best of times, especially without this heat. So with these very warm temperatures, it makes a difference. There's the field for the women's 400 metres T11, the first of the semi-finals. Favourite in lane 3, reigning world champion, Elena Vittoria Simplicio da Silva. In lane 7, La Ishitili, she failed to get out of the opening round in 2016 in Rio, so she'll be hoping for a better performance all round in this one. She's already through to the semi-finals. Perez Lopez of Venezuela will go in lane 5. As previously mentioned, the favourite in this one, Simplicio da Silva, will go from lane 3. And Diana Laura Carranza Castaneda of Mexico, silver medalist in London 2017. She took gold at those same championships over 800 metres, will go from lane 1. All about running the bends in the 400 metres and how the guide's synchronicity works with the athlete. It will take a moment or two for the guide to line the athlete up, put the hands in the correct position, make sure their thumbs and fingers are behind the line, and then it's a case of making sure that tether is firmly placed and that everyone is happy before the starter will go to the gum. Away they go, Carranza Castaneda in lane 1, Simplicio da Silva in 3, Perez Lopez in 5, and Ishitili of Namibia in lane 7 on the outside. There's already been a movement from Perez Lopez up on Ishitili on the outside, and Simplicio da Silva is just holding her form down that back straight. As they are at the moment, being dropped off the back somewhat is Coraza Castaneda of Mexico. So she looks at the moment to be out of the running. It's the first to go through in this semi-final, and then after that, over the two semi-finals, will be the next two fastest who advance through to the final. Well, at the moment, it is out in front, Perez Lopez, the silver medalist at the 2019 Pan American Games, who's now being caught by Simplicio de Silva. Fourth in 2016, she'll be looking to get into the final and make a better effort and better play for the medals this time around. She'll have to get across the line first. The guy will let her go. He does just that. So it is the Brazilian Simplicio de Silva who takes the win, and the outside there, Perez Lopez of Venezuela goes through in second, or hope to go through as one of the lucky losers. 57.91 seconds, so a reasonably good time there from Simplicio de Silva. 56.85 is her lifetime best. 59.77 is her season best. So she's beaten that mark. 57.90 season best in qualifying there for Thalita Vittoria Simplicio de Silva.
Did enough. Had plenty to spare coming down the home straight to record the comfortable win. Ishatili made quite a bright start on the outside in lane 7 for Namibia. Dropped off fairly early was Coraza Castaneda. Not really up to this pace as they came down to the line. It's pretty clear Simplicio. It's just easing back. So 57.9.
Well, Perez Lopez will be hoping she can go through as one of those fastest qualifiers. 58.99 for the lady who finished in second place behind Simplicio de Silva, who's on screen there. Lifetime best for Linda Patricia Perez Lopez, so she'll be happy with that, without a doubt. And it may well see her through to the final anyway.
Let's have another look at the men's long jump, T11. It's been underway for a good while now. And Di Dong Dong has been in good form. He's been leading the competition from the outset. Led off with a 6 meters 35. At an identical second attempt. Only just makes contact at the takeoff area. It's okay. It was his second attempt, which was, as I mentioned, same as the first. And he's got a lead of about 20 centimetres at the moment. Pallier is in third. It's a small round of applause from the little gathering of officials and those accredited who are allowed to come in, as he's made a nice jump there, Pallier. Lex Gillette, at this point after fouling with his first, looks to be in second. Oh, he was very near the end of the takeoff area. That was Pallier. Nice height and distance. And a 6.15. It's in third. There's the elegant form of Simplicio de Silva coming down to the line in her 400.
Well, Simplicio de Silva matched up with her name. She kept it simple. Qualified through 57.90, lifetime best for Perez Lopez in second, who will hope to go through as one of those fastest qualifiers to the final.
He wanted to make it Simplicio de Gold, but I think Liu Shui Qing might have something to say about it.
Solid Brazilian contingent watching on, happy with what they've seen.
The Dong Dong once more after his 2 jumps of 6:35. His back coming into contact with the side of the pit, but he seems to be okay. Just watch the landing. It's a great takeoff, good extension, and then his momentum had pretty much stopped by the time he just moved over towards the edge of the pit there. I think he's going to be fine. And just a slight improvement, and he stays in the lead. Almost halfway through that long jump competition, T11.
That's the lineup. 10 men and 3 throws in that order, after which only 8 will go forward to rounds 4, 5 and 6.
Now, Javier Horas. Perhaps his friends call him Chavi. And 40 just a couple of days ago. Fourth in Beijing, 5th in London. Horas might have just put his hands down behind where he landed. Hope he hasn't given up a few centimetres there. Horas with a personal best of 6:36. Just straightened up enough in time there to hit the landing area. The takeoff area, pardon. And let's see where that leaves him. It's like a day at the beach, isn't it? The sand just gets everywhere. So long jumpers are used to that. And a 5:89. It's a good 3rd jump from Horas.
Second semi-final of the women's 400 metres T11, complete visual impairment. Reigning Paralympic champion Lu Ku Qing goes in this one in lane 3. Carroll dos Santos, who won gold in the 2019 Paralympic Games. 4th in the last 2 World Championships. Angela Seth Pabot-Mamion, injury prevented her competing at the 2019 World Championships and Paralympic Games. She was just one of 2 starters in her heat, and then it was Costa de Oliveira who withdrew during the race after long jump gold. Lu Ku Qing, world and Paralympic record holder, Paralympic champion, twice world champion in 2015 and 17, and silver in 2019. And Johanna Mazur, the reigning double European champion over 2018 and 2021, bronze in London in 2017. So already through to the final. Simplicio de Silva from the opening heat. And that lady there, Lu Ku Qing, will be aiming to join her automatically through to the final. Only one goes through from this, and then we'll have the 2 fastest over the 2 semi-finals who will join them. We'll get complete silence so the athletes can get themselves ready, and then we'll be away. And away we are, no problems at all, and Lu Ku Qing gets away very nicely in the deed there. Nice and evenly spaced out, and Lu is working her way up on the inside shoulder of Pabot-Mamion of Colombia there, and she's already made up around 10 or 12 metres there, and the gap now is being held way back in the distance. Johanna Major, the European champion, is struggling. She's around 40 or 50 metres back at the moment from the pack, and Lu Ku Qing, as they come around to the 200-metre mark, it's all about running the bend now. It's all about the synchronicity. It's all about working the arms and making sure you stay within your lanes, and Lu is doing just that. And on the outside of her, it's a bit of a battle on Pabon Mamian of Colombia, as Lu goes past there and working hard down the outside as Dos Santos of Brazil, the gold medalist at the Pan American Games. And Lu is tightening up somewhat at the moment. It may be a very, very close finish. This one, it's Lu slightly in front. She's just about going to get there. She does by the barest of margins, I think. 58.16 seconds. That is a very tight victory for Lu. She tightened up in that last 50 metres or so, and it looked as though the Colombian Pabon Mamian had picked her up over the line. So this is going to be interesting to watch as far as not only the winner, which is Lu Ku Qing. She has set a season best time of 58.17 seconds, but what the time is of the second placed Colombian, it should be enough to see her through with no problems whatsoever. 58.17, the time is confirmed there for Lu Ku Qing, a season best for her. And there's 1/100th of a second in it, and a new lifetime best for Angie Lizette and Pabon Mamian.
It's an unusual race from Lu. She didn't take too much out of the stagger on the first bend. Looked to have the job done coming into the home straight, and then just tightened up a little. And Pabon Mamian, oh, it's close, isn't it?
It was very interesting there too. Just have a look at Lu Ku Qing's guide, because the athlete has to go across the line ahead of the guide, and he's just willing her there because he knows that she has to get ahead of him. And he does just that, and that is a very, very tight call. 1/100th of a second in that.
And the guide could have so got that wrong under the tension of the moment. But a good job in the end.
Well, the guide also can't pull the athlete along, so the athlete has to do the work. The guide can't pull the athlete along. They've just got to talk to them and try and coax them over the line, and that's what happened there. Dos Santos finished in third, Mazur in fourth place. It was a season best for Dos Santos of 59.17. Mazur hasn't had the happiest of 400 metres. She just snuck through to the semi-finals from the earlier session.
Back at the long jump, and we've got Xavi Porras wanting to go again. Can report that Ricardo Costa de Oliveira, the defending champion, is struggling a little and is in 6th place. Porras in 5th. And that area record of Ben Tumaseme for New Zealand is just in 5th place at the moment. Event still being led by Di Dongdong. Lex Gillette, perennial silver medalist it would seem, is in that position again and doesn't want to be. Got to find about 20 centimetres to catch Di Dongdong, and then it's Ronan Pallier of France in 3rd. Yang Chuan, where Chinese Taipei, is 4th. Then Porras, and then Costa de Oliveira. Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the women's discus throw F55. So the medal presentation, the first of this evening session. Women's discus. And a competition dominated by Dong Feixia, but a really interesting competition it was, because Diana Dadzite threw 2 excellent throws towards the end to climb up into 2nd position. And Guerrero Cazares of Mexico finished 3rd.
Mr. Shibu George, Venue Planning and Operations Manager, Atos.
アトスベニュープランニング&オペレーションズマネージャー。
Accompanied by
続きまして山本海人
Mayor of Chuo City.
中央区長。
Rosa Maria Guerrero Cazares.
Bronze medalist representing Mexico.
But a foul with the first throw and then produced her best effort of the competition with the second at 24.11. Former able-bodied footballer, 19 Para Games gold discus and shot put competitor, and bronze. And women's discus F55.
Silver medalist representing Latvia.
金メダリストラトビア。
Diana Danziti.
Well, Dadziti wore a heart on her sleeve through this competition. We could tell when she was frustrated. We could tell when the thing was just not going right for her. And then it started to improve. And the joy on her face when she climbed into a medal position and then did one better to get into silver. Well, we won't forget it. She's just overjoyed to be on the podium for this one. A personal best of 25.02 thrown to secure her the silver medal position. Four World Championship gold medals.
Paralympic champion representing People's Republic
That's
of
it.
China.
金メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオン中華人民共和国。
Dawn Feisha.
Well, I think watching Dong Feisha compete, we just got as much fun out of the joyful, relaxed way she goes about it, as much as the 25.64 she threw in the first attempt. 26.64. And she just couldn't be beaten from there. Through 26.24 with her last attempt, 26.13 with a second. She just went about it as though it was fun, and she was confident. Won Rio with 25.03, today 26.64.
National anthem of People's Republic of China.
皆様、中華人民共和国国歌の演奏です。
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
皆様、パラリンピックメダリストです。
Sometimes say, whenever I get to work on para sport, that these are great people and even better athletes. Put it the other way around if you like. Great athletes and even better people. But I was just thinking how unfailingly polite Dong was throughout that competition. Every official that came over to her to hand her a discus or to show her the way, thank you, smile, smile.
And there must be pressure as well, because you want to perform at the best of your ability, but to be a genuinely nice person to go with it, it takes a lot of work for many people, and Dong has that natural exuberance and natural aura about her.
Yeah. I suppose you can bring a relaxed confidence to the competition when you're better than everybody else, but not a lot of people necessarily do. And she was fun to watch on a number of levels. Just a fantastic thrower.
Shot in 55, there was a lifetime best for Jevan Panjic of Bosnia-Herzegovina. 11 meters and 3 centimeters, moving up into third position after 4 throwers. Ivosa Djuric of Serbia just preparing in the men's shot.
And at the opposite end of the stadium is the second placed athlete in the F37 men's shot, Ben Mosley in the circle.
Well, let's not call them crowd or spectators, let's call them officials who are allowed to come, as that is the case. But we are hoping to have some Japanese school children coming in future sessions to share in the joys of Paralympic sport.
It's one of the features throughout these Paralympic Games, these school children. They've been at the wheelchair rugby amongst other sports, watching teams play, socially distanced, of course, up there in the stand.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory
As we move to
ceremony
the
for the
women's 100 metres T35 victory ceremony. What a race this one was.
Please welcome the medalists.
Again, won by China. Zhao Jie with a wonderful world record.
She just made an amazing start, Zhu Xie. And Isis Holt of Australia almost ran her down, but probably needed another 15 metres.
Will be presented by
Maria Lyle of Great Britain,
Mr. Shibu George,
a good third.
Planning and Operations Manager at Atos.
Venue Planning and Operations Manager.
Accompanied
Well,
by
the semi-final.
Mayor of Chuo City.
Zhao Jie making it back-to-back Paralympic golds.
Bronze medalist representing Great Britain. Maria Lyle.
Great Britain's Maria Lyle, who's the 2019 world champion over 100 and 200 metres. She won bronze in this. Also back in 2016 in Rio, she's picked up bronze again.
Silver medalist representing Australia. Isis Holt.
Well, Isis Holt probably came into the final as the slightest of favourites and still looks delighted to be accepting second place today behind Zhu, but such was the start that Zhu made. Holt was probably a little bit quicker over the closing 40 metres, but the damage had been done early. And Zhu had to run a world record to deny Holt.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion
And the winner,
representing People's
Zhu
Republic
Jie, with another Paralympic gold medal for China.
Zhu Xie.
She claims it with a world record. Isis Holt did her best to get to it. It wasn't to be though, because the lady from China had too much and hands her country yet another gold medal. So China again atop the podium.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the People's
As we
Republic
pause for the national anthem of the People's Republic of China.
国歌の演奏です。
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
皆様、パラリンピックメダリストです。
They'll get a chance to continue their rivalry with other events across the days of these 2020 Summer Paralympics in Tokyo.
The next three jumps will be long jumps here in the final.
Yeah, victory ceremonies always bring a pause to action in the field events, so it can tend to space them out over quite a long period of time. The men's long jump is still going as the obligatory photos with masks on and off are arranged.
Aliyah Issa of the refugee Paralympic team, completed her set of 6 in the women's clock for 32.
Luku Quing
16:33,
just about getting through automatically to the final.
There are a number of athletes with significantly better personal best further down the field, but for now, Issa.
In the end, she did enough to be through first, 58.17. Well, Mayhew going through as a fastest qualifier, 1/100th of a second short. Tells you how quick that race was. So there's our final. Simplicio de Silva joined by Lou, Pablo Mamion and Perez Lopez. The last two had personal bests.
Prescott of Great Britain taking her set of 6. The lead still with Oscar Lecco, who's our first thrower in 24.73.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the women's 200 meters T37.
皆様、ただいまより女子 200m T37 の表彰式を行います。
Please welcome the medalists.
メダリストをお迎えください。
Well, we're going to get well used to the Chinese national anthem with China 1-2 in the 200 T37 final. Wen Xiaoyan and Hung Fanfan, Andy Francois Elie of France.
The medals will be presented
Bronze medal
by
position.
メダルの贈呈は新野隆
Vice Chairman of the Board, NEC Corporation.
日本電機株式会社
Mandy Francois Elie had broken the Paralympic record in the qualifying race for
Accompanied
the
by
final.
続きまして横川
When then
博
went and broke it again.
Executive Board member of the Tokyo Organising
And to
Committee
go one
of
better,
the Olympic and
she then broke the world record when it came to the
東
final.
京オリンピック・パラリンピック競技大会組織委員会理事
Bronze medalist representing France.
銅メダリストフランス
So Francois Ali
François Elie.
picks up the bronze medal. European champion in 2018 and 2021 just gone. She won gold in this in 2013 at the World Championships. Quite different, these medals as well. These Paralympic medals in the Tokyo 2020 Games have got 3 indentations on the side. It distinguishes the colour by touch. So 1 for gold, 2 for silver and 3 for bronze. There's braille letters that also spell out Tokyo 2020 on the face of each of those medals.
Silver medalist representing People's Republic of China.
銀メダリスト中華人民共和国
So 1-2 for China in this one. Jiang Fenfen, a lifetime best for her of 27.33 seconds. Which not so long ago would have been enough to get herself the Paralympic record. She'll take silver though.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing People's Republic of China.
金メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオン中華人民共和国
Wen Xiaoyan.
Wen Xiaoyan collects another gold medal. She won gold in the long jump in 2016. Now she has gold in the women's 200 metres T37 coordination impairment category. And an anthem at the Paralympic Games that we've become very accustomed to over the past 17 years or so. People's Republic of China.
皆様中華人民共和国国歌の演奏です
The complete lack of wind not really showing off the flags to their best effect. It is so still here in the National Stadium, but great day for the collection of medals and records for China.
That's 18 gold medals now for China. 43 in total for these Paralympic Games. They're in the top position at present. 18 golds, 11 silvers and 14 bronze medals to date.
We're ready next for the men's 400 meters T52 final.
男子 400m T52 決勝
T52 is explained on the right-hand side of the screen.
T52 は切断機能障害車椅子使用のクラスです。
And let's welcome the athletes that will contest this global final into the Paralympic arena.
Men's 400 metres T52, the last of the track finals to take place on the opening day of the para-athletics of these Paralympic Games in Tokyo 2020. Day 3 of the Paralympic Games altogether. T52 category for limb deficiency, leg length difference and impaired muscle power. T54s will be the fastest of the wheelchair races. 51s will be the slowest due to muscle power and coordination, and T52s next on the category. Raymond Martin and Sato Tomoki, the two to look out for there from the USA and Japan respectively. Jose Rigo of the USA, 22-year-old from Washington, took gold in the Pan American Games in 2019 over 400 and 1500 metres, so he knows how to win a race. Perez Suarez of Mexico will go in lane 8, 1:02.92 of a qualification time. The man who holds the world record, Sato Tomoki, who took silver in this event in Rio, looking to go one better. World champion in 2015, 2017 and 2019. Gianfranco Iannota, the second of the 3 USA athletes to go, took bronze in 2016 and gold over the 100 metres in Rio. Uyembaro Hirokazu, 50 years of age, a best of marathon silver back in 2008 in Beijing. And the man who's the reigning Paralympic champion over 400 metres and 1500 metres, Raymond Martin of the USA, making up a triumvirate from that country.
In his second Paralympic final for the Philippines.
Manglawan, fourth at the 2018 Asian Para Games, and the man who's been competing since Sydney back in 2000. He's the reigning European champion, Thomas Gierspekler.
Here we go, it's the men's T52 400 final.
Raymond Martin, a man who has 6 Paralympic golds since London 2012. But he'll be up against Sato Tomoki. The home fans will be hoping for something special. So away they go. It's Rigo in 9, Perez Suarez in 8, Sato in 7, Iannota in 6, Uyembaro in 5, Martin in 4, Manglawan in 3, and Gierspekler in lane 2. And already getting out very quickly indeed. Perez Suarez there smoking through, but coming through on the inside is Raymond Martin, who's really working hard there. And it's Martin who's out in front there in lane 4, just working his way around that bend along with Sato Tomoki of Japan. It's going to be a race in 2 between those, as we may well have expected before we begun this men's 400 metres T52. Sato is the world record holder. Martin is the Paralympic champion. And Sato, he may well catch him on the line here. He's going to do it. Sato Tomoki for Japan in a new Paralympic record time of 55.39 has taken the win away from the reigning champion, Raymond Martin. Well, that was an outstanding last, 40 to 50 metres. Raymond Martin had a gap of around 5 or 6 metres there and going away at one point. But it was Sato Tomoki. He's worked ever so hard to pick up that Paralympic gold medal. silver over the 400 and the 1500 in Rio in 2016. He started off on the opening day of these Para-Athletics Paralympic Games Championships. Not only has he got the world record, he also now has beaten the Paralympic record. It was held by another Japanese compatriot of his way back in 2008 in Beijing, Ito Tomoya. The name Sato Tomoki, though, will be next to it now. 55.39, the former record of 57.25 has been utterly smashed by around 2 seconds. It became a race in two with around 200 metres to go. It was Sato Tomoki and Raymond Martin.
Sato doesn't make a particularly strong start, does he? And second from the outside, Perez Juarez quickly gobbled up Rigo on the outside. Just takes a little while to find his rhythm and pace, does Sato. And then, as you mentioned, this last 100 metres was fascinating. It looked as though Sato couldn't possibly catch Martin, but he just sails home and beats him by half a length.
Quite incredible finish. You'd have thought for all money with 50 or 60 metres to go there that Raymond Martin was going to make it back-to-back Paralympic golds. But Sato, he found the will, he found the way, he found the gold.
Yeah, and Japan also the bronze. Iwanabaru in 59.95 picks up the bronze ahead of Yanota of the United States, Mangalawan, the Philippines, and Mexico's Perez Juarez, Rigo of the USA, and Gersh Pickler of Austria. There's your man.
Let's confirm the progressions from our earlier women's 400 meters T11 semi-finals. Confirmed on the scoreboard.
Sato Tomoki.
Extraordinary number of lead changes for a short race.
Men's 100 metres T37 victory ceremony now. This is a race that saw a world record fall.
Please welcome the medalists.
Nick Mayhew of the USA breaking his own world record. He set a Paralympic record in the qualifier for the final. Former champion Charles du Toit of South Africa failed to medal at all.
The medals will be presented.
Nick Mayhew with the gold.
Mr. Lee J.
Andre Verdovin, the
head of Japan Marketing Visa.
Russian Paralympic Committee athlete and European champion, took the silver.
Accompanied by
And Indonesia through Panomo, who broke the Paralympic record in his heat earlier this morning,
Chairman of Chuo City
took
Council.
the bronze medal. The dignitaries have been introduced.
Bronze medalist.
The medals are ready to be produced to the athletes.
Satoyoga Panomo.
Well, Panomo says he wants to open up his own motorbike repair shop. He's pretty quick himself. This will be big news really in Indonesia. This is a wonderful performance from him, and he got there denying Kobasov by a 100th of a second.
It's quite incredible. Kobasov thought he had it. He got handed fourth position instead. Panomo with a new Asian record.
Silver medalist and RPC athlete. Andre Verdovin.
Andre Verdovin then with a new European record. 11.18 seconds for the man representing the Russian Paralympic Committee. Three-time European champion.
Multiple world champion. There's 100s, 200s, 400s, 8 of them in the last few years.
He may well have met his match. Nick Mayhew, only introduced to the sport in 2019. He's got some swagger, he's got some style, and he's now got the gold medal to go with it. He can back up everything he shows off before the race.
Nick Mayhew.
Coached by his brother Thomas, former football 7-a-side player. Took up the sport just 2 years ago. Set the world record a couple of months back.
Congratulations.
He broke the Paralympic record in his heat. He broke the world record, his own, in the final. You heard him say there, it's crazy. It may well be. But he's a Paralympic champion.
Ladies and
We
gentlemen,
wait the national anthem of the United States of America.
皆様、アメリカ合衆国国歌の演奏です。
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
皆様、パラリンピックメダリストです。
So the men's 100 meters T37 victory ceremony complete. Nick Mayhew of the United States of America with gold. Andre Verdoven of the Russian Paralympic Committee with silver. And it's Indonesia who pick up the bronze medal.
Careful. Seen people damage their teeth that way.
And it is Lex Gillette in seventh place with his 5th round jump in the men's long jump T11.
So the field events that opened up the competition, men's shot put F55 and the T11 long jump and the women's club throw, they are all still running. Mentioned the stop-start nature of how these events have to be organised and run. They don't continue while medal presentations are underway.
So here's the previous race on the track. 400 metres T52 men's final. Sato Tomoki getting the win.
Not a hint of panic. He just kept doing what he had to do. He'd been passed and then he made his move down the straight. A wonderful race from him.
Paralympic record to go with it. 0.2 of a second quicker than Raymond Martin, who was vanquished to silver.
Brazilians have had another good day.
Very consistent series so far for Lex Gillette. 6:17, 6:05, 6:14, and that jump at 6:06. The event leader next to jump, it is Dong Di of China. Best jump came in the previous round at 6:47. He's improved throughout the competition.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the men's 100 meters T37.
皆様、ただいまより男子 100m T47 の表彰式を行います。
Please welcome the medalists.
メダリストをお迎えください。
This was another classic sprint final. The 1 and 3 for Brazil, split by Michał Deres of Poland. There's a lot of pre-event publicity for Petruccio. Quite a lot of pressure on him.
Completely. He defended that goal from his home Paralympics in 2016 quite sensationally, though. Attention now turns to the 400 metres where he picked up silver at his home games, looking to go one better in that one.
The medals will be presented by...
Broke the Paralympic record, though, did Patricio Ferreira dos Santos.
Paralympic Games.
His own Paralympic record it was as well. 10:53, taking 4/100ths of a second off the mark that he set in September 2016 in Rio. It's been a busy day for Brazil when it comes to medals, and China. Washington Jr. takes to the podium. Picked up silver at the World Championships in Dubai 2 years ago. He can now add bronze to his collection from Tokyo 2020, the Paralympic Games.
Quite interested in the reaction after the race from Michał Deres of Poland, because he was overjoyed to have come second, even though it's second again for him after silver in Rio. Washington Jr. He loves the stage, I think.
Silver medalist representing Poland. Michał Deres.
Well, Michał Deres, he picked up silver, as you said there, back in 2016. He's won the World Championship title on 2 occasions, in 2013 and 2015.
Well, he ran quicker today and still finished second.
You can't ask much more, can you, when you break the European record of 10:61, which was his time, his lifetime best before that was 10:64, which he set this year. So Michał Deres has done his country and himself proud.
And I keep saying that's all you can do. If you do a personal best and someone else is a little better on the day, you've got to accept it with good grace, and he's done that.
Representing Brazil. Patricio Ferreira dos Santos.
But all the emotion came out for this man after he stood next to the world record sign to show that he run a Paralympic record of 10:53. To add to that world record he set in Dubai 2 years ago.
That was a very quick bow. He wanted to get that medal. He was polite, but he was in a hurry to get it around his neck.
Well, the games may have been delayed, but that man's humour remains. Great competitor, great athlete. Outstanding representative for Brazil as we pause for the national anthem of his country. Tears of pure joy for Mauricio Ferreira dos Santos. You see how much it means to him. It means the world. Maybe a playful character, but he's also a very competent athlete.
He's in 5th place, and it will be the 2 leaders in the shot put to follow this throw by Nikolai Zatniak of Ukraine.
Updating the women's club for F32, Gemma Prescott of Great Britain has gone into 3rd position for the best of 18:28. Julian Castle of Algeria about to get her step 6 underway.
So men's shot put competition. '55 final.
Silver medalist representing Poland,
Ludzki.
Michal Derus. It's time on track.
Round 1, Heat 1 men's 5,000. They're trying to pick up a little bit of time here, getting them straight onto the track after some victory ceremonies.
T54 explanation on the screen.
T54, the strongest of the wheelchair categories. 9 going in this one. Marcel Hug, who's 23 World Championship medals to his name. He won silver in 2016. This event, he'll go from further inside. Daniel Romanchuk of the United States, eliminated in the first round of all 5 races he competed in at Rio. David Weir, who retired in 2017 of Great Britain, goes as well. He returned looking at Tokyo 2020. There he is.
And John Ford, 6 times a gold medalist at the Paralympics for Great Britain.
We'll be looking to get inside that first 3, which will automatically go through to the final.
Valda of Germany for the 3. Added to the world champion over 800 meters for the USA.
Daniel Romanchuk. Also the 2019 marathon world champion, and the great Marcel Hug. It took him a while to get himself a Paralympic gold. He did it over the 800 meters in Rio. Also the reigning European champion over the 800, 1500 and this event, the 5,000. So 12.5 laps for 3 to definitely go through into the T54 men's 5,000 meters final.
Pretty quick start made by Romanchuk. He and Hug lead them out first time. The drafting and the tactics in these races just really fascinating to watch.
Really interesting, because what happens is someone will make a move, they'll bust out to maybe 15 meters, and then they'll get reeled in by the peloton behind them, and then someone else will be asked to take over, and eventually someone will make the move and everyone will have to go. Marcel Hug there, you can see sitting in 2nd place on Romanchuk's wheel. The Swiss silver bullet. Always pick him out with that helmet on as he moves into the lead at present, and Romanchuk just sits back there into 2nd place and just takes a little breather. David Weir of Great Britain there in 3rd place, the man who took gold in London 2012. Back to the sport, back to the Paralympic Games, and great to see as Alessandro Balde of Germany has just been left slightly off the back of the field, so almost losing one already there in the yellow top off the back, as Marcel Hug with 10.5 laps remaining. Just eases them down that back straight. No change there. Romanchuk, who has got great strength in the longer distances.
So Hoog just moves aside, lets him take over again. Hoog actually dropping back to third, looking for a way to get back onto the inside lane.
Also up there, Alexei Bionchek of the Russian Paralympic Committee, sitting in third position, along with China's Dai Yunquang in the blue, who finished 10th back in the 2019 World Championships. It's a race at the moment between 8, because Balday's been left off the back, as Marcel Hoog then makes a move again and just slips out to the front. The key in this is to make sure you don't get boxed in. You don't want to be in a position where you've got 2 or 3 other athletes with their chairs on the outside of you and you're boxed in when it comes to the race towards the end. 9 laps remaining as Hoog steps aside, and this time lets Dai of China take up the lead. At the back of that group there, you can just see in the yellow, it's Kongkrak of Thailand. Thai is very strong in these races. Prawat Waharam will go in the second, who's won 2 World Championships. He's also the reigning Paralympic champion. Well, Dai steps aside.
We'll be asking David Weir to take his turn shortly. He's been conducting a pretty shrewd race so far. He's just sitting 3 or 4 back. Well, second at the moment.
Well, Hoog's just sitting there and nicely in that third position, just having a bit of a rest there on the wheel of David Weir, who you just mentioned. And then you've got out in front Romanchuk, who's been there doing a lot of the work right from the get-go, along with Marcel Hoog. And well, Weir hasn't been out in front yet. He's been in second place, he's been in third place and fourth place, but he hasn't got himself out into the lead position to do the work and let the others come along in his slipstream. A bit of a canny race.
Do you think he's asking for an age dispensation, seeing he's the veteran in the field, David Weir? 42 years of age now.
Well, they've gone slightly wider there. Romanchuk has taken them out into the second lane as they then move back in. It's all about strategy. It's all about working out when you're going to go with 7 laps remaining. So we're almost around halfway through this as Hoog has burst up the inside and put on some speed.
Well, it looked like they just backed off a little down this home straight the last time. I thought, oh, there's a little bit of tactics going on here. And now Hoog's saying, who wants to come with me? A little tester, perhaps. Still a long way from home.
Well, Balde of Germany has decided to call it quits, so he's out of the race. So we're 1 less off, as we now have 2 out in front. Marcel Hoog and Romanchuk have made a break of around 20 or 30 metres. There's 6 laps remaining, so we're past the halfway point. Now it's up to the field to see what they're going to do. David Weir slipped slightly off the back of that bunch there, which is chasing. He's got Dai of China just in front of him. Bionchek's there as well. But the 2 out in front, Romanchuk and Marcel Hoog, who've been at the front for the entire race, have really put a burst on now. They're around 50 to 60 metres out in front. It's the first 3 who automatically go through, so they'll be looking to put enough distance between themselves and the field to possibly work together as they come towards the end of this race. They don't want to use up too much energy. They don't want to use up, especially in this heat and humidity.
You go back almost 6 minutes at the start of the race, and it was these 2 who led them away quite briskly. Settled into a peloton, but now they've broken away by the best part of 50 metres.
Well, Kongkrak of Thailand in the yellow has just moved aside, and now it's Dai of China, 10th back in 2019. He's gone to the front and he's trying to make a move and saying to everyone else, so you're going to come with me, because they know that it's desperate times at the moment. As it stands, they'll only be one guaranteed spot up for grabs. And David Weir has just fallen off the back of that. There's a pair of them who have really fallen back. So we've shredded the field now. We're splintered completely. We've got three groups. We've got Hug and Romanchuk out in front as they go across with 4 laps remaining. 1,600 metres to go. Bionchuk in third place. Konkrak, who's in fourth. There's a group there who are going to have to work hard. David Weir is going across the line now with 4 laps remaining. He looks like he's done his race, as Weir, the British athlete. But Romanchuk and Hug are looking very strong out in front. There's around 70 metres that they have as they move around to the 200 metres remaining on this lap. And after that, they'll have 3 laps remaining in this men's 5,000 metres T54 opening round heat.
Well, they've got the opportunity as they complete the bend to just look over their left shoulders and assess the gap. They're very comfortably in control of the race, these two, Hug and Romanchuk.
Well, it's now out to 100 metres with 3 laps to go, so surely they must know that they've got an insurmountable lead. The race is going to come in the group behind these two. What's going to happen there? Because that's going to be the telling tale. There are 4 athletes there in that group. There is only one guaranteed spot up for grabs in the final. A load of work is going to be done, but Romanchuk and Hug are there just having a playful little time out in front. And no doubt in a moment or two's time, Romanchuk will come around and take the lead and give Hug a rest. But as it stands, they are looking very strong.
There's a look over the left shoulder again from Hug. Perhaps not just at the pursuers, but also to see how Romanchuk is doing. But as far as the overall context of the race, they've got the big screens that they can also look at to assess the gap and who's travelling well and what needs to be done. But these two out front have done most of what they need to do.
Well, the gap's out to about 120 metres now. It's Bionchuk of the Russian Paralympic Committee who's in second position. It's Dai of China who's in fourth there, and well, this is going to be some race, those guys at the back. These ones at the front, though, Romanchuk and Hug are doing it ever so easily at the moment. Almost having a little chat with each other, no doubt, as they go around. They're asking, do you want to go in front? Do you want to have a go? As they come around to take the bell with around 50 metres remaining before that bell goes for Daniel Romanchuk and Marcel Hug. I don't know if there'll be a huge amount of speed on. If there is anything there, it'll be for a bit of personal pride as to see who can go across the line first, but I don't suspect it'll be a huge concern as to what happens. The group at the back, when they come round to it, will be a bigger concern for the 4 of them who are chasing through, but these two out in front, Romanchuk and Hug, are 200 metres from saying to themselves, we've done a good evening's work.
Yep. They're in order number 1 and 2 as they started, and they're going to finish 1 and 2. In what particular order does it matter? Hug is making a bit of an effort. I think he wants to make a small point here, and he glides across in first position. A really interesting tactical race with those guys.
Well, Hug across in first, Romanchuk, the world record holder, in second. Now the race is on to see who can come home in third. It's Bionchuk on the inside, who's been taken over, though, by Konkrak of Thailand. It is Konkrak who's going to take that third position. Bionchuk goes through in fourth. So that there means Thailand take that third automatic position. It's Putarek Konkrak, who was fifth in 2019 in Dubai. He goes through and guarantees that he'll find himself a place in the final. Well, Romanchuk did a load of the work early on. David Weir, who is back in the sport, the man who won Paralympic gold in 2012, just cruises down to the line alongside Hu Yang of China. But it is Daniel Romanchuk and Marcel Hug who just blitzed the field right from the very beginning. It was almost as if they had said to each other, let's just open this up and just see what this field is like. Not too much of a concern as to who finishes first or second here. Marcel Hug just looking for a few positivity points. maybe he said to him, I did most of the work on the way around, so how about I take it?
Well, there was a very quick fist bump afterwards there, obviously. They know each other so well. They race each other dozens of times a year. And serve yourself well if you can try and at least get on with your fellow competitors rather than have any nasty rivalries.
That was a clean race. We may see in the final. It sometimes gets a bit rough and ready when the combatants come around some of the bends as they try and jostle for position. But a new Paralympic record as well for Marcel Hug. So that record of Kurt Fearnley's that stood since 2008 in Beijing has gone 9:53.26. Perhaps that was the reason that Marcel Hug thought he wanted to get across the line. 9:53.38 for Romanchuk, and Bianchuk of the Russian Paralympic Committee takes the automatic third qualification position. Well, it shows you the calibre of this race and these athletes, that they had a lot left in the tank. It didn't look like they were really putting that huge amount of effort into it. And Marcel Hug has come up with a Paralympic record.
He looks in good fighting order, doesn't he? He passed his BMI test without too much trouble. He's absolutely cut and super fit, as is Romanchuk. They look the part.
Well, there's no messing around. The second heat is ready to go. Brent Lakatos, you may have seen that man before. Lives over in Loughborough in England. He's married to Steph Reid, the British Paralympian. Kubo of Japan. Julian Castle in there, as is Zhang Yong, who took bronze in 2019. Aaron Pike of the USA inside Zhang. Daniel Sibri of Great Britain, fourth in the recent European Championships. Prawat Waharam, who took gold in 2000 back in Sydney, 2008 in Beijing, and 2016 in Rio. Three-time Paralympic champion and reigning champion. And Brian Seaman, best of 10th at the 2017 World Championships, will go inside the tie. So the Paralympic record went in the heat before this. Again the same. It'll be the first three who go through and move into the final, and it is as expected. Waharam, the reigning Paralympic champion, who's got out to the front there in the bright yellow. You can't miss him. With Zhang Yong of China just sitting in there behind, and Daniel Sibri of Great Britain just outside those medals at the European Championships in Bydgoszcz in Poland. He'll be keen to make sure he gets through with Brent Lakatos at the back of the field. Lakatos has always been really strong over short distances. He has won marathons though, has Brent Lakatos. He's won the London and the Berlin marathon, so he's certainly got the talent at the longer distances, but he's generally been winning at those shorter distances over the 1, the 2, the 4 and the 800 metres. So Lakatos just sits at the back there biding his time at the moment. They're all slipstreaming each other.
So Waharam just moves aside after leading for a lap and a half. He's got to find somewhere to slip back in. There's in a very tight file there.
Yeah, there's one thing you don't want to be, and you don't want to be sitting a couple of wide for a long period of time in wheelchair racing. Like any racing, you're just making yourself doing extra effort, and Waharam's pretty confident in his own abilities. He's just ducked back in there into fifth position now and said, I'll just settle in and watch the rest of you guys go at it for a little while.
Yeah, he was boxed out there, though, for about 150 metres. It might have annoyed him slightly, but he's well positioned and has the power to overcome any of those kinds of deficits, especially we're so early in the race, just 2 minutes gone now.
Well, Zhang Yong is out in front. Daniel Seabury of Great Britain is in there in second position, and they're just working their way into a nice little package. Julian Castle, who's been around for a long time. Castle took bronze back in 2012. He's in third position there in the blue vest in number 6 on his helmet. He's also the bronze medalist at the last 2 European Championships. So Castley's always in a position where he's up near the lead.
Waharan's just dropped back to 6th there. He's just got caught slightly again. Let's see if he is comfortable in that position or wants to move up beside the likes of who. And Zhang.
Well, I think the Thai Waharam will be pretty happy sitting where he is at the moment. Sitting at the back now is the American Brian Seaman. Brent Lakatos has worked his way up a little bit further up the field. Lakatos just stuck in there in about 4th position in the white and black helmet. When they come around this time, they'll have 9 laps remaining of this second heat in the men's 5,000 metres T54.
Just opened the gate for Waharam to come straight through 3 or 4 of them.
You don't want to be too accommodating in this game, and I think Waharam, in fairness to him, was just having a little breather back there. He's so powerful, as all the Thai athletes are, especially in this T54 category. They've got such pedigree when it comes to this race. All the way back through the last 15 to 20 years, the Thai athletes are extremely strong in T54 wheelchair racing. Waharam is just sitting out in front there at the moment with Zhang, who's been up there in the top 2 or 3 for the entire contest so far. Waharam just feeling his way around and just seeing if he can hold off any counters that perhaps come, and generally at this stage it's not going to happen. Maybe in the final it might be someone who decides they're going to make a play for it. Lakatos slips down the outside now. 7 laps remaining. Lakatos moved from the back around to the front to slow things down somewhat as well. Once you got to the front, it's all about tactics. It's all about just working to your strengths. And I suspect if Lakatos can try and keep it in a position where it comes down to 3 or 4 laps and he's up near the front there, it's over a shorter distance, then it becomes a race in a few laps to get through in that top 3. He'll be feeling mighty confident about that.
5 minutes gone. Lakatos looks left and right and will lead them down the home straight. Not for long as Zhang looms up.
Waharam sitting ominously there, the Paralympic champion, in 3rd position now. The speed is quickened. Just under 6 laps remaining. And we might see a break on shortly as Zhang of China has really put a bit of work in and taken Lakatos and Waharam with him. So there's a gap of around 10 metres now that's opened up, but Waharam slowed everything right down and thought, you know what, we'll let them get back to us, because at the moment there's no real need to try and put in this much effort. It's all about conserving energy as well. There's always the look ahead to the final. There's always the look ahead to thinking, you know, we need to conserve energy for that too. It's a very warm, it's a very humid evening here at the Tokyo Olympic Stadium.
It's just interesting, Carlson, as they came around that bend, that they left the inside lane completely open, the front 4 or 5, waiting to see if anybody wanted to come through and take their turn, and they didn't. So the tactics, always interesting to watch in these longer races.
And that's what it's about. And you see now it's just slowed right down as they've got into the back straight. 4.5 laps remaining. Another lap and a half or so, and I'd say that the pace will come on. You just saw Waharam sitting up in his chair there because he was having a bit of a rest.
Yeah, he looked a little bit bored with it all.
The move has come on now.
Waharam responds.
So someone was going to make a move at some point. everyone's responded. Waharam sitting now a couple wide on the outside. He'll be looking to try and get across at some point rather sharpishly. It's Kubo of Japan who's taken the lead. So Waharam in second, Zhang of China in third position, and Lakatos has just slipped back there into fifth position at the moment behind Julian Castle in the blue. So Japan through Kubo Kozo. He's a para cross country and para biathlon athlete as well, so he's got plenty of stamina about him. They know exactly what he's got to do. When they come around this time, they'll have 4 laps remaining. It'll be into a race over 1,600 metres. For the last 3,400 metres, they've pretty much stuck together as a group.
Race in contrast really to the first heat, where it was split up into 3 groups. One dropped out altogether. A very different complexion to that race, but we've still got time for 2 or 3 to make a break if they choose to and if they have it in them. But everyone's still in contention at the moment.
So we're into the last kilometre or so. And out in front, it is still Kubo Kaso of Japan. Waharam in the bright yellow around the outside has just come up on the shoulder of Zhang Yong. But it's really anybody's to take by the scruff of the neck at the moment, but I don't think anyone wants to make that move. Almost an air of looking across and saying, well, who's going to go first?
Waharam and a couple of others pushed 3 wide.
So just under 2 laps remaining. It's Kubo of Japan. It's Zhang who's now taken the lead of China, and it's Waharam of Thailand, the reigning Paralympic champion, who's moved around the outside and just put himself into a position that if he wants to try and move across, but Zhang has almost blocked him off. Couldn't hold onto it though, and Waharam has now moved out into the lead. So Waharam leads. Zhang has moved back, and Lakatos has come into second position.
I'm sure he's got the stamina, but Waharam was 3 wide for quite a long time in the previous lap.
Well, they're coming down to take the belt. It's Waharam who's going to head across with Lakatos in second, and China's Zhang Yong in third position and automatic qualification. Castley's in there as well, looking strong in fourth position. Waharam now has put the arms down and he's thought, I'm going to get out to a bit of a lead here and see what we can come up with. Lakatos has gone with him. Zhang has gone with him as well, and working around the outside is Julian Castle, who's gone wide there, and Castle is trying to get himself around. He's decided better against it in the end because he's thought, I'm going to be doing too much work here. Perhaps he's looking at thinking, but I might be able to do something as I get around into this last 100 metres. It's Prawat Waharam of Thailand, the 2-time world champion. He's the reigning Paralympic champion. He's won it 3 times. He's going to go across. He's going to take the victory. Is the man from Thailand, Lakatos in second, and it is China's Zhang Yong who picks up the automatic third qualification position. 10:14.91, so nowhere near as quick as the previous heat. It doesn't matter though. That man there is still into the final to defend his Paralympic title.
Looked like a masterclass to me. Like it didn't matter where he was. He just looked so confident. It looked like he had control of the race, even when he was sitting 5th or 6th. He's happy to be anywhere because he's got belief, and he's got speed, and he's got racing intelligence. Waharam.
Always amazing, isn't it, though, these guys, when they come across here, they don't look like they blow out a candle when they're finished. Have a look at that. Waharam just having a look over his shoulder. Lakatos in second. Zhang of China in third, and Julian Castle will have to hope for a fastest loser time.
Well, can't wait to see Hug and Romanchuk taking on Waharam once more.
Almost looks like he could do it over again.
Yep.
Men's 5,000 metres T54, the winner of the second heat, Prawat Waharam, the reigning Paralympic champion. 10:14.91 his time. So confirming that Waharam won that heat with Lakatos and Zhang picking up the second and third position. Castle has qualified as one of the lucky losers to move into the final. And what does that give us? Well, it gives us Marcel Hoog with that Paralympic record and Romanchuk on his tail there at 53.38. And Castle qualifies along with Konkrak Masayuki as well.
That's back. Qualifies through to the final. That's the first page.
Still have field events in progress. Haven't seen too much of them recently because of the hectic program on the track. And now we're going to have a victory ceremony for the men's 400 T52.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the men's 400 meters T52.
Well, this was a terrific race with a great result for the host country.
Please welcome the medalists.
Santo Tamaki, Raymond Martin of the United States, and Yunabaru Hirakazu to feature. Sato and Martin gave us an incredible finish. 55.39 for Sato, 55.59 for Martin, who was run down with just 20 metres or so to go. Very tactical for a 400 metres it was.
Yeah, Sato Tomoki with that last 50 metres when Raymond Martin looked ever set on retaining that Paralympic title from Rio.
For the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games.
World record holder Sato Tomoki. Also the Paralympic record holder now with a time of 55.39.
Governing board member of the International Paralympic Committee.
Uyembaru at 50 years of age. Won marathon silver in 2008. 13 years later, at the sprightly age of 50, he's picked up a bronze medal in the men's 400 metres T52 final. Shows you that tenacity does pay off. That's been proven here by Uyembaru. Wonderful scenes at his home games. Something he'll cherish for the rest of his life.
Silver medalist representing United States of America. Raymond Martin.
Raymond Martin, it wasn't to be. So close to defending that Paralympic gold medal from Rio in 2016. He'll settle for silver though. Quite the athlete. 6 Paralympic golds to his name already. 9 World Championship golds. Took a bronze in the 2019 World Championship. Silver in Tokyo. And the man who had won 2 silver medals at the 2016 Paralympic Games, Sato Tomoki from Okayama, took up the sport in 2012 after witnessing the London 2012 Games on television. 31 years of age, and now a Paralympic champion. So Japan atop the podium. Made his debut in 2015 in Dubai at the World Grand Prix. 6 years on, I wonder whether he thought he'd be sitting atop the podium in Tokyo taking a gold medal. He has, and he'll now get a chance to listen to the national anthem of Japan.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
Well, there is something moving about hearing the national anthem of the host country. Certainly it was true there for Santo Tamaki and, of course, Yuanabaru, the gold and bronze medalists split by Amy Martin of the United States. Seen some great finishes in both sessions today, but Sato's performance right up there. We've had men's long jump running today. And here, Dong Dong has been one of the stars of the show in the long jump. Scored it out of the pit after another successful effort. He's very much led from the opening attempts. Oh, outstanding technique. Hits the middle of the takeoff area, hits the middle of the pit. And that's 6:47, confirming him in top position through 4 attempts. Now Lex Gillette is 6:17. His second attempt. Needing to do a bit better. 4-time silver medalist.
His best 6:47 is the current lead.
It just doesn't look like he's quite got it today to overtake Di Dong Dong. And 6:16 with his last, so no real improvement from the second attempt. And Di Dong Dong, his 4th jump of 6:47. Lex Gillette, can you believe it? Second again at 5 Paralympic Games, and Ronan Pallier almost got him for second actually with his 6:15. Sergei Sokulski. So this is the men's shot put F55. 12.06 for Sikulski. Early into second place. The 35-year-old in the Russian Paralympic Committee. Fourth at the 2019 World Championships.
5,000 meters T54. 1,000 meters.
Lex Stoltman.
Three of which will be in his own classification of T53.
Final attempt for Stoltman at a 12.15 with his fourth attempt. So he's hanging around a medal position. He's third in Rio. And he's got it out past 12 metres again. Concern on his face. He thinks he's left a bit unspent there, but 12.15 twice. Well, I think we can see from those arms why he's quite fond of bodybuilding, as well as throwing. So Stoltman throwing 12.15 metres twice. Potential bronze medal for Stoltman. Now Rusdi won Rio with a distance of 12.33 and 3 World Championships, 15, 17 and 2019. So possibly the favourite coming in, and the world record holder with 12.47. But 12.23, it's not quite his best. And the unfamiliar position of sitting second. And Wallace Santos of Brazil through a staggering 12.63 to smash Rusdi's world record, and Sikulski in his category also a world record. Sikulski F54 and his rivals in that event F55.
Time now to head back to the track and the women's 400 metres T47. A race that involves the world record holder from South Africa and Rune Veyers, who's the world champion. Reigning Paralympic champion Li Lu goes in the second heat. Fernanda Yara da Silva with that distinctive blue hair. She'll be easy to find. Bronze in the 2019 Pan American Games and the 200 and the 400 metres. Anastasia Solivaeva, who was fourth back in 2019. She's the reigning European champion from the Russian Paralympic Committee. Veyers will go from lane 3. Solivaeva with a lifetime best of 58.94. World record of 55.60 set by the South African Veyers in Belgium in August of 2019 in Huitzingen. So the first 3 will automatically qualify. And as standard practice, the next 2 will advance over these 2 heats to the final. Women's 400 metres T47, the opening heat, and they're away with no problems at all. And Veyers has done well coming up already on the inside of the USA's Danielle Arovic. And Veyers is looking very strong indeed. This for the upper limb deficiency category, T47s. And Solivaeva of the Russian Paralympic Committee in the blue and white there is also looking extremely strong on the outside with Brazil's Fernanda Yara da Silva. And Valles, as she comes around with around 150 metres to go, it's a race in two at the moment with Anastasia Zolovaeva. There won't be too much of a competition going on, though, I suspect, because they know that they're going to cruise through in that top three to the final. Zolovaeva currently in the lead. Valles just easing up slightly and just coasting along to the finishing line. Zolovaeva's going to take it in a time of 57.27 seconds. Valles in second, and coming across in third place, Yara da Silva looking pretty strong there for most of the race. That lady, though, looked very strong along with the South African world record holder, Bruno Valles. 57.27 the time then. Lifetime best for Anastasia Zolovaeva. Valles in 57.59 and 59.91 for Fernanda Yara da Silva. So those three will automatically qualify and go through.
Certainly the inside lane for Valles allowed her to control the race again. Like, it's not too sharp a bend when you're in lane 3, lanes 1 and 2 vacant. And yet Zolovaeva decided to make a point. And it was an interesting race from that respect, but a great start on the inside from Valles. Just quickly up on the shoulder of Adovic of United States. And this was the bit that interested me really, was that either Valles was sitting back or Zolovaeva said, I'm just going to let you know.
I'd say Valles there, judging by that, was almost running up and down the spot, having a bit of a rest. And the Brazilian taking third place, and the 18-year-old Australian in her first major championship, Elisa Jordan, with a new Oceania record of 1:78, might try to claim one of those two fastest losers who go through to the final. That's something to keep the time on. Tabita Voltera of Romania, who finished in 6th position, even set a lifetime best for her. But that lady there, Anastasia Zolovaeva of the Russian Paralympic Committee on the left, and the reigning world champion, world record holder, and Bruna Valles in second place, qualifies most easily.
Men's shot put F37. It's the field. Brazil so well represented in most events here. João Victor Teixeira spins his way to a good throw. Opened up with a 13.42, then 13.79, and finally got it out past 14.45. An area record for the Brazilian. And then Ahmed Ben Mosla, 26-year-old from Tunisia. Left-handed thrower. The weakness is on his right side. And a 14.50 from him. That was his third attempt. But here was the man, Albert Pinchakov, 24-year-old from the Russian Paralympic Committee, on the 2019 World Championships, and just heaves it out there, regularly throwing in this competition over 15 metres, and he was too good all day. 15.78 with his first attempt, and continued to push it out past 15.5 metres. Had a couple of fouls towards the end, but he won it by over a metre.
Second heat in the women's 400 metres T37. Li Lu, the reigning Paralympic champion, will go from the blocks in this one. Also won the World Championship gold in 2017, took silver in 2019 though. She'll go from lane 7. From Burundi, Adeline Mushiranzigo, her first major championships for the 19-year-old. Nerves aplenty. Li Lu, the favourite, in lane 7 to go through. First 3 will automatically qualify for the final. The next 2 fastest across the last heat, and this one will go through to the final as well. So all to play for. Li Lu will be in the blue of China. You may see sometimes the Chinese running the alternate colours of blue if you are looking for the red. So experience and inexperience in this race. Which way will it go? Great spread of countries as well. Japan, China, Chile, Guinea, Burundi and Venezuela all represented. The host nation, Japan, Suji Sei, bronze in 2016 in Rio. She'll be looking to improve on that if possible here in Tokyo. She took bronze in 2017 as well in London. Reigning Paralympic champion. Also won gold at the Asian Para Games in 2018. She knows about medaling. Li Lu of China. T37 for the impaired movement of the upper limb or deficiency. Paralympic.org is the place to go if you want to find out about all the classifications. So Suji of Japan in 8, Li of China in 7, Sherna of Chile in 6, Bangura of Guinea in 5, Musharazigo of Burundi in 4, and Vera Andrade of Venezuela in lane 3. There was a slight bit of movement at the start from the Burundi athlete, but it was no issue whatsoever at all. And it is Li Lu who gets away extremely quickly indeed. It's looking really strong there on the outside with Suji Sei of Japan as well, and working her way through really well on the inside is Venezuela's Vera Andrade as well. She's running that bend ever so well. They look like the 3 at this stage who are going to go through. Venezuela's Vera Andrade, the 19-year-old, won gold at those 2019 Pan American Games, and she's looking extremely strong. The lady who took bronze in Dubai a couple of years ago. Well, Li Lu's in second position. I don't think it's because she wants to be there either. It's just that the lady from Venezuela has run the much better race. Li Lu goes in second, and in third position, just Suji Sei of Japan. But that lady there looked very, very strong indeed from Venezuela. Lisbon Marina, Vera Andrade, Li Lu in second place. Burundi's Musharazigo gets across the line. They all finish. Smiles all round.
Interesting race from Vera Andrade. She took it out very hard. And the question was, is she going to have anything left down the home straight? And she did, and she actually held off Li Lu. who wasn't particularly favoured by the draw out wide in lane 7. But take nothing away from Vera Andrade. She ran a super race.
New lifetime best as well.
She absolutely flew through the first 120, steadied down along the back straight, and then just held off Lee. Don't think she had a lot left, but she still ran a very good race.
Suji had to do a lot of work to get home that third automatic qualification place, but Vera Andrade looks strong, she looks relaxed. She put the effort in, as you said, over that first 150 metres or so to get herself up into a position to take the lead when they came around to the last 150. And she'll be nicely set in a very good lane for the final.
See our officials gathering down in front of our position for a medal presentation. So I think we're going to have another pause in the events. As a surprise, people checking their phones. Is there any other activity when there's nothing else going on? And the victory ceremony coming for the T11 men's long jump. Notable for a few reasons, not least of all the gathering of second places by Lex Gillette. He just didn't bring his best jumping to this competition.
Please welcome the medalists.
Di Dong Dong certainly did. And Ronan Pallier of France also to feature in this medal presentation. Had Lex Gillette been able to replicate something like his world record of 673, he would have won it quite comfortably, but you can't just pull it out of your kit bag every time.
The medals will be presented by International Paralympic Committee Special Ambassador for the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games.
国際パラリンピック委員会特別親善大使
Accompanied by
続きまして山脇康
Governing Board Member of the International Paralympic Committee.
国際パラリンピック委員会理事
Bronze medalist representing France.
Well, Ronan Pallier, 50 years of age, go back to Athens when he finished 5th, 6th in Beijing and 4th at the 2019 Worlds. This is a special moment for him to be collecting a bronze medal. His best leap of 6.15 metres coming with his 3rd attempt. Quite a consistent day for him. Also leapt 6.11, 6.09 twice. And he is one very fit 50-year-old.
Silver medalist representing United States of America.
銀メダリストアメリカ合衆国
Lex Gillette.
So Lex Gillette started with a foul and then jumped to 6.17 with his second attempt and wasn't able to better that. Got a history of jumping well in advance of that, but just wasn't there today, and I'm sure he's disappointed, but taking it well.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So second in 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016 and at Tokyo 2020. Penny for his thoughts.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing People's Republic of China.
金メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオン中華人民共和国
So Di Dongdong, 27-year-old from Laoyang, won the Asian Para Games 2018 in Indonesia with a leap of 6.55. Didn't actually need that today. 6.47 with his fourth attempt was enough. Rio was fourth in the 100 and fifth in the 200, so other strings to his bow, but a gold medal in the T11 long jump.
皆様中華人民共和国国歌の演奏です
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
A very strong day, track and field again for China. This competition was a little bit surprising in that Ricardo Costa de Oliveira never really got going and finished 6th, best of 5.89, and that really opened up the competition, and one might have thought that this was a day that Lex Gillette might dominate, but no, Di Dongdong had other ideas, and his 6.47 got the job done. Big congratulations to Ronan Pallier of France as well. Thinking back on it, the first jump of Lex Gillette, had it been fair, was probably a very good one, but it wasn't the case. It wasn't one to be measured. Recovered pretty well with his second attempt, but Di Dongdong too good.
Well, there's confirmation of the opening heat in the women's 400 metres T37. Oliveira, Valles and Yara da Silva picked up the opening 3 wins. And in the second, Vera Andrade, Lee and Suji of Japan, and Amanda Shenner of Chile goes through as one of the fastest qualifiers. So it looks like that. Alessa Jordan, the youngster from Australia, goes through also with Scherner as one of those 2 lucky losers. Oliveira and Vera Andrade with lifetime best at the top of the pile.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the men's shot put F37.
皆様ただいまより男子砲丸投げ F37 の表彰式を行います
Please welcome the medalists.
メダリストをお迎えください
Competition in this event dominated by Albert Kinchagov of the Russian Paralympic Committee. In Tunisia's Ahmed Ben Mosla and one Victor Teixeira de Souza Silva of Brazil.
The medals will be presented by
メダルの贈呈は遠藤利明
Vice President of the Tokyo Organizing Committee of the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
東京オリンピック・パラリンピック競技大会組織委員会副会長
Accompanied by
続きまして成沢博信
Mayor of Bunkyo City.
文京区長
Well, de Souza Silva
Representing Brazil.
had a best throw of 14.45, and that was his 5th attempt.
Teixeira de Souza Silva.
From Sao Paulo, 3rd at the 2019 World Championships with 13.76. Well, he easily beat that today. It was 14.45. And set a personal best for him in doing so, and an area record. Another one of those times where you have to be satisfied that well, you did better than you'd ever done before. And very proud owner now of a bronze medal.
Silver medalist representing Tunisia.
銀メダリストチュニジア
Ahmed Ben Mosla.
Ahmed Ben Mosla, 26 years of age, 2nd at the 2019 Worlds and 2nd today. He's beaten his own previous personal best by 10 centimetres, putting it out to 14.5 metres exactly with his 3rd attempt.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion, an RPC athlete.
金メダリスト
Albert Kinchikov
パラリンピックチャンピオン RPC
came in with a personal best of 15.25. His first throw was 15.78. And then 15.69, 15.76, 15.77. Very consistent and too good for the opposition today. Almost 1.3 metres clear of Ben Mosla. World champion 2019 with 15.25. And now Paralympic champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, the RPC anthem.
皆様 RPC 参加の演奏です
The Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
And that famous Tchaikovsky piece was the music that was agreed would be played for successful athletes representing the Russian Paralympic Committee and Russian Olympic Committee a couple of weeks ago. It's a corny shot, but they keep going for it. I don't know, the photographers must ask them to do it. But when you've won a gold medal, I don't think you mind. Do almost anything with it, wouldn't you? Anyway, well done, Kinchikova. A few throwers we've seen already today have dominated the competition, and he's done that in the men's shot put F37. No joy today for New Zealand's Ben Tuimasevi. Didn't make the last 8. He has the best throw of 13.31, which was an area record for him, but not in the same class, I'm afraid, as these men today.
Back to the track of the women's 1500 metres T13, the first of 2 heats.
Our final event is the heats of the women's T13.
T12 and T13 records, because there are athletes from both categories going in this one.
T13 is explained on the category. On the scoreboard, it will be 2 races with the first 4 in each, plus the next 4 fastest.
World champion El Idrissi, T12 athlete, will go in this, as does the current Paralympic champion, Samaya Boussad of Tunisia. Francia Sordo of Colombia, silver at the 2019 World Para-Athletics Championships. Fredo Rodriguez of Spain, De Jesus Santos. There's Boussad, the 41-year-old who took gold in Beijing back in 2008 and also in Rio in 2016. And just out of shot there, Fatima Zahra El Idrissi, gold at the last World Championships, and the senior debut of the 2012 European Championships was for Zotova. That came in Stadskanal. And Corso on the inside there, 18-year-old, her first major championship for the USA. So a mixture of athletes with guides and those choosing to run without. T12s can opt to run with a guide. El Idrissi is a T12. She's decided to run by herself. So the opening heat of the women's 1500 metres T13 visual impairment category is underway. The first 4 will go through, and then the next 4 fastest across these 2 heats will also progress to the final. And it's Osorio of Colombia who's taken out to an early lead. 3 3/4 laps. When they come around to cross the finishing line, they'll have 3 laps remaining. And Osorio has blasted out straight away, running with her guide, Camilo Lancheros. Silver back in 2019, a couple of years ago at the Worlds. And the youngster from the United States of America, Corso, in the white cap there with USA on it, is also doing well up front there. And on the inside of her, it's El Idrissi and Boussad of Morocco and Tunisia, respectively, who are looking pretty comfortable there as they head around with 3 laps just under remaining. So Corso is just sitting on the outside there, the youngster. just in a nice position out in front, Francia Osorio. Now they'll be too wide across the track there because Osorio is running with her guide as well. But Eladrissi and Boussaid, the 41-year-old Boussaid, the reigning Paralympic champion, along with Eladrissi, who won gold in those 2019 World Championships in Dubai. They're just sitting there at the moment in this warm summer's evening air, just cruising on through with a couple of laps to go when they come around to head over the finishing line.
Osorio with a potential advantage with the use of the guide Camillo, in that he's able to keep track on the big screens about where the other runners are, how they're travelling. But it's all fair, and just a tactic that's available to him, to his runner, Osorio. And I've just seen him once or twice looking up at the screen, but he knows who's around and he can communicate that.
Satova there in 5th position at the moment. The RPC athlete made her senior debut 9 years ago. In the green, it's Eladrissi, who's just made a move to the outside there, the Moroccan. She's thought, I don't want to get boxed in here too much because it's going to be a bit too much work to do. Beside there in the red vest, the reigning Paralympic champion is just in front of her, and just sitting on the inside now in the white hat, the American Lisa Corzo at her first major championship. So she's right up there working out what this is all about with a bit of experience and learning from it as she goes along. She's sitting very nicely at the moment in a very good position. As Boussaid has said, I'm going to carry her around with 500 metres to go and take the lead, and Eladrissi has gone with her. So the world champion and the Paralympic champion are up in the top 2 positions at the moment, and Corso's just moved around the outside, the youngster, and is just tracking their move as they come across the line to take the bell with 400 metres to go. She's run a really good race as the USA's Corso. She's just tracked the more experienced counterparts and just stuck with them, knowing that it's the first 4 that go through. So she'll be looking to put on a burst at the end because there's a group of 5 at the moment. One of those, Osorio, with her guide. And then just sitting off the back of that group there is Satova, the RPC athlete, in that 5th position. So it's as you were, with around 250 metres to go. Out in front, Eladrissi in the green. Boussaid on the inside, just looking very calm, very relaxed. Satova's made a break. She's thought, I've got to get up there. Osorio's working extremely hard with her guide with 200 metres remaining, almost looking as if she's pulling a little bit at the moment, having put in so much effort early on. Out in front, the green top of Eladrissi is just slightly in front of the lady on her inside, and the right of screen there, Samaya Boussaid of Tunisia, as they come down into the final straight with about 80 metres to go. And down the outside, there's a burst that's been put on by Satova, but it's been matched now by both Eladrissi and Boussaid. But it can't be matched by Corso, the American. She'll take in 4th place, but she'll still qualify. Satova really made them pick up the pace in the last 60 or 70 metres. She came home in 3rd position, 4:51.99. Not the quickest of times, but there's no need when you know there's 4 that's going to go across and into the final. As the remaining groups come across the line, but there is your winner of this one, Fatima Azara Eladrissi of Morocco, 4:51.99.
Pretty shrewd race by several of the competitors there. It just came down to a sprint in the straights.
Season best that time as well for the Moroccan. Medium visual impairment category for her.
I think Lisa Corzo sort of raced above her years, really, just at 18.
Paredes Rodriguez, the Spaniard, just left at the back of the field slightly. She finishes it out in just under 6 minutes.
Maybe saying, why do we do this? I don't think that was too much fun for her.
Well, there's the finish. We saw Zatova, the RPC athlete, who just put on the afterburners, and Aladrissi just snuck across in front of Bousside there on the line. Zatova picks up the third place. And Costa, yeah, she did run a race well beyond her years. Just had the idea to track the experienced duo out in front, and that's exactly what she did. And she'll qualify through in that first four for the final.
Good to see them go around again. That was a very interesting race, very tactical. Aladrissi had a little bit left, I think. She just had enough to do what she wanted and needed to.
It wasn't the fastest race, but it was tactical, it was enthralling, and it was much enjoyed to watch. The Irish athletes enjoyed it. Amazing when people get on TV, isn't it?
They're 10 seconds of fame, the notoriety or stupidity, depending.
Japan have been extremely welcoming hosts for both the Olympics prior to these Paralympic Games and for this event as well. Couldn't really ask anything more.
Done a stupendous job in difficult conditions, and we certainly have appreciated the hospitality.
Not sure they'll appreciate that dancing. One track event left in the evening session. Photos with the medal winners. Why not?
I've been here a little bit longer than you, Tolson. I've worked out it's 6 weeks today, and the Japanese people are so accommodating and polite and helpful, and they're doing a great job putting on events like this.
With athletes like this?
Yeah. Well, we're still not able to have crowds, but we've got great competition and a venue that just keeps turning up brilliant performances.
Confirmation of those top four that have gone through. Corso, Zatova, Bousside and Aladrissi in ranking order from 4 through to 1. The final track event of the opening day of the athletics at the Paralympics Tokyo 2020. The second heat of the women's 1500 metres T13. Visual impairment category. Elena Petova, who is twice the Paralympic champion, and Greta Strimikita of Ireland, the European champion, will go in this one. There is Strimikita, recently claimed gold in Bydgoszcz in Poland, back at the beginning of June. 2018 European champion as well. She finished just out of the medals in 2016 in 4th position. Ethiopia's Menigtzku, 21 years of age next month. First major championships. Lifetime best set this year, 4:31.53, and Elena Petova there, just next to her guide, Brigini Andreev. Aussies Ayakar as well. She took bronze in 2013 in Lyon. Silver in 2016, 2018 and 21 at the European Championships. And away they go. Strimikita has just snuck around the outside there to take the lead early on. when she won that European Championship gold medal back in Bydgoszcz back in June, it was the complete opposite to these conditions. It was absolutely pouring down rain, and you couldn't have asked for worse conditions to run in as far as the weather coming down from the heavens. So a little bit different what it is here in Tokyo, with the conditions still very hot, very humid, and over this 30-degree mark. Well, Stremikita is out in front, and Elena Petova, who won gold in 2004 and also in 2012, along with some World Championship golds, is really struggling off the back of the pack. Off the left of your screen, you might see her in the background as they come around, just around there in the background. Already been dropped back a good 50 or 60 metres, so perhaps there's a bit of an issue there. Maybe the heat has caused an issue, but it is Greta Stremikita of Ireland at the moment, who looks in a very comfortable position. Being tracked on the back of her by Velasco Maldonado of Mexico with her guide Belman Ortiz. They took gold at the 2019 Pan American Games. And the young Ethiopian Menixtu, who's 21 years of age, is up there in second position, looking very strong indeed. So they're in a position at the moment where there's only really 5 on that front bunch, and there may well be 4 in a moment or two's time as they come down to take 2 laps to go. The top 4 will qualify through for the final. So at the moment, it's Stremikita in second, Menixtu, who's in the second place position, and it's a bit of a race on to see behind, with Velasco Maldonado of Mexico in third position as to who's going to go through in those top 4 positions. So a battle on as they head towards the end, with around 600 or so metres left in this one.
The conditions really haven't backed off, and it wouldn't surprise if some of these athletes are suffering after a couple of hard laps. But Stremikita still doing a nice job out front, and Menixtu of Ethiopia happy to sit in behind. And it's settled down into a race in 4 now, as the pace finds them out. Coming up.
So Ozas Oyaka there in 4th position, who's just stretched out that advantage of those top 4. And she moves around the outside, the Spaniard, and up into 3rd position. So when they come down this time and they go across the line, and Stremikita in front at the moment, with Menixtu and Oyas Oyaka followed closely at the back by Velasco Maldonado and her guide. There'll be the bell that comes up, and they'll have 400 metres remaining in the second of the women's 1500 metres T13 event. So those 4 at the front at the moment are looking fairly safe, unless something drastic and dramatic can happen from those behind.
Well, Stremikita had done all the hard work, and now she's been caught and overtaken, but now responding also. Should be safe, those 4.
Well, there is the danger, isn't there, that when you go out and you take the lead in these type of events, especially in these type of heat, you can put yourself in a position where you might struggle somewhat if the pace does pick up in that last 300 or 400 metres, and it's not so much the case at the moment.
Menixtu looks pretty comfortable in the cadence and the facial expression, and just easing away now from Stremikita.
It doesn't look like there's going to be much change there to that top 4 at the moment, because the lady in 4th place, Velasco Maldonado of Mexico, is just holding her own, as Menixtu stretches out that advantage to about 5 or 6 metres over Stremikita. Oyas Oyaka of Spain in 3rd position, and is going to finish in the order they had as they came around to that last 200 metres. 4:44.40 the time from the Ethiopian. Stremikita in second. Oyas Oyaka goes in 3rd, and picking up that 4th automatic qualification position, Velasco Maldonado of Mexico. So a solid enough race from the Ethiopian youngster, but there was a real struggle on for Elena Petova and her guide Grigory Andreev, who are still at the moment with around 50 metres to go, but There's the happy bunch who have gone through. Manixu cruised on through to be able to do that, 21 years of age, and just wander around afterwards without taking too much of a breath. So Palova has gone across and finished the race.
She was in trouble from the first 100 metres. So.
Yeah, didn't have a great race, Patova, so wasn't her best day at the office. Last of the athletes to head across their banda of Malawi. Wonderful effort being at the Paralympic Games and wonderful effort to be in the Malawi team.
Manixu just looked very comfortable coming down to the line. Just foxing the whole way round behind Strimakiti, it seemed.
Well, there's another race to be run when they get to the final. And it'll be a much tougher proposition. There'll be plenty of class on. There'll be the likes of El Adrisi and Busaid, who were in the previous heat. Manixu in a time of 4:44.40 seconds qualifies fastest.
Women's club throw, F32, one of our field events from earlier in the day. This one had a field of 9 competitors. World record held by Maruya Ibrahimi of 27:28. And Gazmi with the best attempt, her 5th, 23:29. 31-year-old Algerian. Second in Rio with 25:41, and in London was a winner at the 17 World Championships. Moskalenko of Ukraine. Also had a good competition, throwing a 24:73 with her last. I want to make mention of these handmade clubs carved locally by high school students in Tokyo. They developed 20 of them. They're beautiful things, and a great project for the kids in the high school. And Kozakowska dominated this. And a 28:74 with her 3rd attempt was a new world record, adding 1.3 meters to the previous. And no wonder she was overjoyed with that. She had a couple of poor throws and a couple of brilliant ones, including a new world record of 28:74. Rosa Kozakowska. Kozakowska, quite interesting story. Health issues last year, moved from long jump to seated throwing. And she's a Paralympic gold medalist in weighting.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the women's club throw F32.
皆様、ただいまより女子混合投げ F32 の表彰式を行います。
Please welcome the medalists.
メダリストをお迎えください。
So the victory ceremony for the F32 club throw. Got a new world record holder in our winner, Kosta of Poland. A change of thinking, a change of event. Adversity thrown away with illness last year.
The medals will be presented by Vice President of the Tokyo Organising Committee of the Olympic and Paralympic Games. Accompanied by Mayor of Bunkyo City.
Samunia Gazmi, a 31-year-old Algerian who's twice been
Representing Algeria.
a runner-up, silver in Rio and London, but a winner at World Championship level, adds a bronze to a great collection of results. Gazmi a 23.29.
Thank you. Congratulations.
A bit shy of her personal best. The bronze medal today.
Thank you.
Silver medalist representing
Anastasia Moskalenko, 21-year-old, won the shot put and third with the clubs at the 2019 World Championships, and fourth at the 17 Worlds, twice European champion, 2018 and 21, and now a silver medal in the F32 club throw in Tokyo.
gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Poland.
Well, Kosta had thrown an unratified 27.94, but any doubt about who the world record holder is now, well and truly put to bed with a 28.74 in their third attempt. 27.28 was the previous world record held by the Moroccan Ibrahimi. I think it's going to be a long time before she gets tired of looking at that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Poland.
皆様、ポーランド国歌の演奏です。
I guess many of us won't be all that familiar with the Polish national anthem, but we all recognise and appreciate the emotions being felt there by Kosta. Tears welling up in the eyes. You read the backstories to a lot of these athletes and they have adversity piled upon adversity, not just an injury or an impairment, but then keeping their physical condition is sometimes an ongoing challenge, as it's been for Kosta. But today, the struggle, well worth it. If she'd qualified for a long jump through the World Championships, but then when her condition changed, she had to change tack and has come here to take part in the club throw and has won it in style. A beautiful night in Tokyo to follow a very hot day, and another one coming tomorrow, we're told. We've seen some stunning performances. Men's shot put, Wallace Santos dominating this one. From Rusdi and Lex Gillette of Poland. This was the opening field event of the evening session, and a world record thrown by Wallace Santos of 12.63.
F54 record for Sergei Sokolsky as well, because he's in a different category, so that's why he's also got the world record.
And Stoltman, 12.15 would end up being his best throw. Opened up with a 12.05, then 11.84, then a foul. But put himself into medal contention with his 12.15. And actually threw it twice with his fourth and sixth attempts. Rusdi came in with the world record and the Paralympic record. Won in Rio and got it out just beyond 12 meters as well. His world record of 12.47 would come under threat though from this man, Wallace Santos. And it's well past 12 meters, as you can see, and it's 12.63 for Wallace Santos. Massive improvement over the last 5 years from him. Rocks back and just hurls it out there. The officials keeping a keen eye on the exact landing spot, and he knew it was good. He'd thrown 12.45 and 12.46 earlier and then created a world record. The men's T11 long jump would finish this way with Di Dong Dong. 30 centimetres too good for Lex Gillette, and nice competition put together by Ronan Pallier, 50-year-old Frenchman, who very nearly snuck in for silver with this leap. His best was his third of 6 meters 15 to secure the bronze. Lex Gillette started out a little rough with a foul on his first jump. 4-time silver medalist. And his best today is not anywhere near his career best, and 6.17 meters. Found him trailing this man, Di Dong Dong. Great technique. Looked like he might have tweaked his knee on landing, but he was fine. And that was fine, 6.47. And that would stand the test of the final 2 rounds. So a clear win for Di Dong Dong. Kinchigov would dominate the men's shot put F37. João Victor Teixeira de Souza Silva of Brazil saved his best for his 5th attempt. An area record of 14.45 meters. 27-year-old from Sao Paulo.
Accompanied by
Ahmed Ben Mosla,
Executive Board Member of the Tokyo
the Tunisian.
of the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
14.50 he would throw with his 3rd attempt. And would settle into 2nd position. Just 5 centimeters ahead of De Souza Silva. But it was all about Albert Kinchigov. 24-year-old athlete from the Russian Paralympic Committee, won the 2019 Worlds with 15.25. But through 15.78 with his first. For a personal best and a comfortable win in the end by over a metre.
Tremekita, Oz's Ayaka, and Blesco Maldonado, the top 4 to go through, guaranteed into the final. And that's how the final looks. El Idrissi and Boussaid looked very strong indeed, the world and Paralympic champion. Lisa Corzo of the USA, brilliant run from her first up as a youngster. And we're looking forward to a very strong final indeed.
So things winding down for the session at the National Stadium in Tokyo. Well, we worried that the games wouldn't go ahead. We worried that athletes wouldn't be ready after such a lack of competition. But what we have seen already is records tumbling. Athletes just absolutely joyful in their celebrations wherever they finish. Amazing conclusions to races and events, and so much more of it to come. And I know you're going to enjoy it. So we look forward to your company again soon here in Tokyo.